Okay. I've been doing taxes a little over, I don't want to say because you're going to know my age, a little over 30 years. I'm a mother of 5, a grandmother of 8. It looks like taxes really been treating me right. But basically, I just want to go over some things because I don't know, are you guys new tax preparers, old tax preparers, or just seasoned? Okay. So basically, I want to go over a lot of forms that they're most commonly used, that we are aware of the forms, but we really don't know how to actually implement the forms into the tax returns. Because like every year we learn new forms, they give us new forms, they give us new credits. But a lot of times I notice that tax preparers are like guessing how to fill these forms out. And a lot of times because the clients are like, for instance, with the EV credit, a lot of times they're selling these cars and saying, okay, you get the electric car, they're gonna give you $7,500 back for a new car, $4,000 for a used car. And your client is already hyped up thinking, okay, I'm getting a EV car and I'm gonna get $7,500 back for the EV car if it's new and $4,000 if it's used. We as the tax preparers get these forms out thinking, oh, the client is already set up that they're gonna get $4,000 back, but the dealership didn't tell them the make, the model, the VIN, the price. And their income makes a difference if this form even works for you. So a lot of times as preparers, we're not aware that all these forms are income based. It doesn't matter what they tell you the credit is. If the, I'm gonna say if the equation isn't correct, like the make, the model, the VIN, the year, the purchase, the price of the car, and also that person's income, all those things compiled together makes that form work for that client. So a lot of times we take our time and fill all these forms out thinking, okay, we're gonna get this client to $7,500. And after you make them gather the make, the model, the VIN, the price of the car, guess what? They still don't get any credit. The course that I actually teach teaches you how to eliminate all that extra stuff because I'm gonna give you the key points of what is the income? What is the make and models of the cars that you can actually use for the EV credits? Basically, with the new ones, that will be the $7,500. With the used ones, that is the $4,000. But 9 times out of 10, the income won't match for the client to even get any of that. So we waste a lot of time filling out forms that the client will never benefit from. So the course that I actually teach is just a form course where it tells you all the forms that we use throughout the tax year, the most commonly used ones, that we can eliminate a lot of just back and forth. Because I've had people make clients go back to the dealership or try to get the makes and the models and the exact amount of money that they paid on this car. And they do all this back and forth to just for me to go ahead and put the information in, and what happens? They get 0. Now you're looking like, guess what? You don't know what you're doing. But it's not that, it's they never really told us how to use these forms. They just implement new forms and we just do the best of our ability to fill them out. So a lot of times, I say people a lot of times just going over the basic forms. Yes. Yes, every form, basically every tax form that gives you credit or takes deductions, it's income based. So if your income isn't right, basically, I'm not going to say right, but if it's in the income that they're the guidelines or the thresholds, those credits don't apply. That's just like the EIC. Your income has to be certain there or lower to actually get those credits or max out those credits.
So which means if you're not making,
yeah, basically even with the, what is it? You're not going to make $20,000 get the EV credit. You're not going to get the EV credit. And these people don't know that. They just think, okay, I'm going to get this EV car and I'm going to get $7,000 at the end of the year. If I get a used one, I'm going to get $4,000. Not knowing that your income doesn't even apply. That's just like the daycare credit.
Haven't they been using that dealership where the EV credit was already applied before they even walked off the lot?
Yeah. Because the dealer can take the credit. You can give the credit to the dealer as well.
Without even realizing you're giving it up.
And then that's like a lot of people with the daycare credit. A lot of people took a long time for to figure out that you fill out that 2441 and guess what? The person gets nothing back because their income is too low to even qualify for the credit. And they, and I'm just big on not wasting time. If you tell somebody in advance, it makes you feel like you know what you're doing. Instead of you sitting there filling out a form just to say, oh, you get nothing back. I just tell them, hey, You don't meet the income guidelines. Well, my other tax preparer's been putting it on. Yeah, they've been charging you for the form, but you're not benefiting with the credits. Now, if you're just into billing, then go right ahead. But my time is valuable, so I try to, not waste time filling out forms that will not apply to me or that client.
Like when you're leaving that 2441 on that's not needed, trigger an audit anyway, or could trigger audit? Leaving forms on there that don't need to be there?
Yeah. But if the person actually has the documents, it is, just put it. Some people just want everything that's given to them. Even when it comes to like the Giveify or the things that the churches give you for the charitable donations, even though the standard deduction is going to work for them, they still say, well, my church gave it to me, put it on. But guess what? We're charging you for a Schedule A. That's not even going to benefit you. So again, you just got to know how to apply the forms, or don't waste someone's time, or better yet, if you come to me and they've been going to you for 10 years and you've been packing this stuff on, charging them, and then they come to me and I say, hey, you've been doing a Schedule A all this time and it didn't benefit you. All it did was the preparer charge you a higher price. Now it makes you look like all these years I've been going to him and he's just been taking my money. So sometimes it's just best to kind of educate the client, because eventually they're going to find out that you've been like wasting their time. So basically, I think you guys got the list of forms that I would go over in my course, and we actually go over the thresholds, the guidelines, the incomes, the household sizes, because again, only reason why I say household sizes, a lot of times when it comes to this premium tax credit, I know you guys been doing taxes for a long time, but a lot of people don't understand how powerful that premium tax credit is and why the IRS won't let you submit your taxes, or they won't approve your taxes without that credit. Because what's happening is there are a lot of people that are saying one income to get this free marketplace insurance. But when the taxes are actually processed, the income that they're putting, or they're giving the marketplace to get that low income insurance, doesn't match with what's on the actual tax return. So if you guys ever notice that before the marketplace, they're getting this amount. After marketplace, now that amount is either lower or higher, because it's a possibility that they reported $20,000 to the marketplace to get that low income. But now, once the tax return is on there, there's no children. It's just that single person with the $40,000 income. So now they owe the marketplace. And then the marketplace is either going to take it out of the tax return, or if you don't have anything to take it out of, you're going to owe the government. So a lot of times we don't know why the return is going up, down. It's because we just have to be knowledgeable of what forms and what our clients are doing. So we don't just want to, I tell people it's not all about just getting a tax return. We want to educate our clients as well, so you don't have this problem again next year. Hey, you're thinking you're getting over by telling the marketplace a lower income, but in actuality, you're not. They're getting their money back at the end. I can't hear. Okay.
Are you referring to the preparers that don't do due diligence in getting documents?
It's not even the preparer, it's the client. The client is getting marketplace before they even get to you. And they're thinking, hey, if I tell these people I'm only making $25,000 and I got 2 kids, that'll give me some low price insurance or free insurance. But when you actually do the tax return, they didn't make $20,000. They made $45,000. They have no dependents. So now when you add that 1095A into that 8962, it doesn't math out. So the premium that they should have paid, the system automatically adds it up based on the income that's in that computer at that time, not what they reported to the marketplace. So we want to educate the clients also to let them know, hey, before, and I usually put marketplace in at the end, because I like them to see that, hey, before marketplace, this is what you had. But now I just added this marketplace, your $5,000 now is $1,800. Why? Because if you don't put it in, if you put it in the beginning, they won't see what the problem is. They'll just think, hey, you can't get me any money back. No, this has nothing to do with me. This has something to do with you going and getting free insurance or low, cost insurance when you actually are not a low income person. So we think we're beating the system a lot of times by doing little things, but in the end, they always get it back. So a lot of times people don't understand why their return is off, or what's going on with why am I getting such a low income return, because I've been getting a big return the whole time. Yeah, because it's some things you're doing along the way that's causing your refund to drop down. You're not going to blame the preparer. So we also, as preparers, have to be educated to know what's actually making this return, less than normal. So that's why I say it's always important to educate ourselves as well as the client during the refund, so they'll know next time, hey, whatever you told Marketplace last year, you want to change it, because you're not winning by telling them that, because at the end, they're taking it all back. Unless they're just into paying back at the end. And then it's not that easy, because the Marketplace will see that you're telling, not the truth to get that insurance, and that might jeopardize you from not getting Marketplace again. It's income based. It works. It works. I have a lot of clients that get that money from those solar panels, but it's for more on the high end income. So they are targeting people, telling them, oh, you can get, what is it now?
$28,762
for that credit. But they're not telling you, because you make $20,000, don't knock on my door. You're not going to get it. But someone that's like 80, 90, who's making nice money, they will get that money back. So again, the client is going to think, oh, they said when I bought the solar panels that I was supposed to get such and such back. They're walking in the door ready for this big refund, because they only bought the panels because guess what? They thought they were going to get that refund. But you got to think everybody's going to do whatever they got to do to make their money. So they tricked you. Don't come in here giving me a hard time because you got food, but you don't want to sit there and say, well, I don't know why you're not getting the credit. You're not getting the credit because your income is not. And in my course, I actually give you the incomes, like the guidelines, to not even waste your time, so you can explain to the client, hey, this is why you didn't get this credit. And I'm not going to waste I'm not into just adding forms to charge people. I'm not going to fill out all this stuff. You got to put in the amount you spent, everything in that form, just to find out you're not getting a dime. You just look stupid.
Don't they have to have a tax liability to get that?
Yes. So it's a lot of times it's not us. We just have to educate our client. You just kind of know in advance before you waste your time. So the moment your client sits down and say, hey, I got an electric car, I need my money. You look at that income, this credit won't apply to you. Why? You got the knowledge to know why. Don't sit there and type all that stuff in, wasting that person's time just to tell them they're not getting anything. You just look like you don't know what you're doing. Even like with the daycare credit. A lot of people still don't know that the daycare, it's an income guideline for daycare credit. I don't care because the client gives you the document or the school gives the client the document. If they're under $24,000, they're not getting a dime. So why waste this person? Some people won't even do their taxes to the daycare giving the paper. You don't even qualify. You just held up your taxes because you're waiting on a paper that doesn't even apply to you. Now that 1 year that it did apply, that was the best year ever probably for the parents that had kids in daycare. But that was the only year, and since I've been doing taxes, it's always been an income-based situation. Let's see something else that's... We know about the cancellation of debts. We know that even though you fill out that form, if you don't add that 982, the debt is canceled out. So a lot of times people don't know the proper way to fill out that cancellation of debt. They just put the 1099-C in and like, oh, you owe money. Yeah, once you put that 1099-C in, you got to follow it with that 982 to go ahead and cancel out debt. So basically, like, my courses just tells you the do's and the don'ts and how to actually use all these forms correctly and when not to even try. Does anybody have like any questions on any other form that's actually on this paper? Oh, they don't have it? You guys want it? Yeah. I'm sure you do.
You might have to give it. I try to.
It's okay, it's okay. I'm just gonna pass it down the row. Just pass those down. You would have to get with Patrick because it goes through Patrick. Yes. So it's just a wide list of forms, just the ones that we always use. A lot of people try to use that 4136. I think on that form is backwards. I think it says 4163. A lot of people try to use that 4136, but you know it's supposed to be more for tractor trailers. A lot of times I've had clients say, oh, the IRS said I have an airplane, or I have a farm, or No, if you use that top line, the one that says off-highway, if you're driving like a tractor trailer or anything that carries more than 4, once you exceed 4 wheels, you can apply that credit. So if you add a trailer on the back, anything that has additional wheels outside of the norm, you can actually take that credit. Yeah. Yes. So when you say 18-wheeler, that's those additional tires. So that's like the safe way to use the 4136. That's the safe way to use the 4136. You just make sure you have more than 4 tires. Once you exceed 4 tires, even if it goes to a 150 or 250, they have an extra, they have 2 more tires. Yes. Well, that's a form by itself. Yes, that's an additional, it's outside of the schedule speed. Okay, we know how to properly use the education credits. We know that 8863, we only can use that for our first, we use the American Opportunity for the first 4 years. I know you guys always see it says up to $2,500. People do get up to $2,500, but it's income based. We probably only deal with clients that get that $900 to $1,000 because they're not at the income that will exceed to the $2,500. But people do get that $2,500 based on income. So I always say we have 2 types of credits. We have those low income ones and we have the ones for the people. And since we have Trump now, you guys are going to see more high income credits for people who make a nice amount of money, because all these years, the people with the low income were always benefited from, the credits. And that was the big complaint, because low income people were bringing home $10,000, $12,000, and then the high income people who are actually paying all the taxes are not even bringing home anything, or just barely, making it without paying. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, the 5405. Okay, the 5405. I think in 2008, everybody got that first time home buyer. I think it was $8,000 or something like that. 80, what was it? 75, 8,000. What happens is your clients, if they're new, they're not keeping up with their dates of when they actually got the credit. They don't know exactly how much they paid so far. They don't know. They have to, if they still have that home, they have to remember the date the home was purchased. So without that correct information, I filled out that form sometimes 3 or 4 times, because the client does not know the exact amount that's left to pay. They don't even remember the exact amount, the payment they're supposed to make. What happens is, I had a client, this year was their last year. They only owed $50 more. So now we're putting $250. We're putting $500 in, keeps them in. I'm like, can you please just call the IRS and find out what you actually owe? Sometimes you're just going to have that client contact the IRS and find out exactly.
I was just saying, if you call the paper parents hotline, they can get you done real fast.
Yes.
If you just give them a call with a client right there next to you, they'll tell you real fast. Because sometimes the clients walk out the door and it takes 6 weeks to get you guys
Yes.
that information. The paper parent hotline was really swift, especially during tax season.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on my phone.
And so basically, with that 5405, that client has to have the correct information. There's nothing you can do on your end. They have to get all the documents. They have to know the dates. And like she said, they can call the paper parents hotline. Because like around this time, this should be, if they did it in 2008, this year should be it. And I had a person that owed $2, and they had to call to find out that every time we sent it through, it didn't go through because they had a $2 balance. Like, really? Yes. Oh, the 5405, the first time home buyer. You guys know when you use depreciation with an automobile, you only can use depreciation or repairs or mileage. You can't do repair, mileage, and depreciation at the same time. You have to pick. So I always tell people, based on how much loss you need to lose, pick your battle. If it's a big chunk of loss that you need to lose, go straight to the depreciation. But if it's just a small amount, I would do car and truck and repairs. Does that make sense to anybody, everybody? Yeah, because a lot of people go straight to depreciation. Sometimes if it's not a big amount that you need to lose, I wouldn't just use depreciation. I would try to, go smaller. And then for another year when I actually need to lose something big, then go for depreciation. You got to pick your poison and know what's the better route. I know a lot of people just automatically want to depreciate because it's a big chunk. If someone needs $15,000 loss, then hey, I'm just going to depreciate $15,000 off my car. My car's worth 40. I'm just going to depreciate 15. But you could have also did repairs and mileage. That's 15,000 is really not a lot to lose that you have to lose versus if you got to lose 25,000. What you thought?
I thought that you can't do the repairs and mileage at the same time. You only do the repairs and the insurance and the stuff that's associated with the car and the mileage.
No, you can on your Schedule C, you can do mileage, you can do repairs. But if you do the depreciation, that's a whole nother form.
Right.
You can't take it on the Schedule C.
But that's for like someone who wants to go buy a house or is in the market of buying things, they want to have a non-cash deduction.
Yes, because when you depreciate, it's not like a loss, like on a Schedule C when you do loss on a Schedule C, that you're saying that I lost money on buying product, or I lost money on when I pay rent, when I pay different things that you actually spend money on. But when you do depreciation, they don't count it as a loss. It's just an item that lost, value. So they look at it different when you go try to buy a house or you try to go buy something. It's not like business was like an epic fail. You know how people want to buy a house and it's like, oh, you had a Schedule C on there, you had all these losses, nobody want to take you. But if it's depreciation, there's nothing you can do about I lost value of something that I have versus me losing in the business I'm paying more bills than what I'm making, or I'm buying more product than I'm actually making. So I have like an epic loss of $20,000 because of I'm spending more than I'm actually making. But if you depreciate something, you don't lose your income value like you would if it was just like a line item loss. Does that make sense? So a lot of times you'll have people that'll purchase a home and then sometimes they'll come back and say, hey, broker said I got to take the Schedule C off, or can I amend my taxes, or I took too much loss or something like that. But if you lose the loss in the depreciation way, it doesn't value if you're losing line items. It's not a first-time home buyer depreciation. You can depreciate whatever you want to depreciate. Basically, I can give you a list of what's.
Are you talking about the use of the home? Yes. That's a whole different thing.
That's a different depreciation.
No, the use of the home is anytime they have money still left on the table, you can use the use of your home. So say you use 300 square feet out of 1,000 square feet, then you have indirect and direct costs.
Yes, but she said you can't combine it, so if you're applying for that in an aspect of the home buyer depreciation, but then now I conduct my business from home, and then I want to apply my losses.
Okay, so when it comes to business, if you use your Schedule C, you can do, if you have a home business, I'm so used to just like freely talking. If you have a home business, you can do $5 per square feet up to 300 square feet in your home for that room. Is that what you're saying? That's a different type of depreciation. That's just for your home business, and you can use your Schedule C for that. Depreciation is it's a form separately by itself. That's a different form that you pull up is different. What you're saying goes in the Schedule C.
So they won't reject the
No, because they're two totally different forms. If you're saying I'm using my home to deduct business, then you can you can rent your room. It's $5 per square feet up to 300 square feet, right? Do you remember?
No, that's if you're not going to do it by square footage. So if you're just going to do the simple home deduction, then it does max out at 300. So if you're going to actually go to the form 5826 and you're going to put in how much of your square footage you're using versus the square footage of your house, then it goes to direct and indirect expenses. So you could have direct expenses that would say this is my leftover mortgage, or this is I redid this whole office. That's a direct expense just for the office.
Yes.
Versus like my rent,
Yeah, but I don't want to confuse them because she's talking about a separate.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
talking, that's the
But
same
these,
thing.
but most of these people are just talking about basic home office, not trying to take it from their.
That is the home office, there's two sides to it. So you could get the set-on square footage, which is 300 square feet flat, and they give you a little break that's no further, or you go in and you do your actual square footage versus the house.
Yes.
And then you would list out the
Like,
six
not with the no combination between the both and that you're telling me it's separate.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry.
No, 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 no. Because we all got different forms in our head. So anybody else have any more questions or something that they might want to? I can't hear anything. I'm sorry.
Depreciation is 4562.
When do you use it? Whenever you got something you want to depreciate. You want to repeat it again?
He's just asking when to use the form for depreciation, the 4562. It has to be tied to.
A Schedule C, a business. Yeah, I need to get on the mic because we just said that.
Give me an example where you use that form.
Okay, I'll repeat what we just said. Basically, like if you were using your car for business, because that information that you put on that form will populate in your Schedule C. When you use that form, it populates in your Schedule C for small business. So whatever information or whatever data you put in to come up with the deduction, that number populates in the Schedule C. So if you were using your car for work, you could depreciate your car. You put the value of your car and how much you're trying to depreciate. Whatever that offset amount is, it will pop in the line of the Schedule C, so that will be a deduction. Is that what you're trying to hear?
Yeah, that's what.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't in the mic because we just said that. I can't hear. Say, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Yes. In my class. When you sign up for it. Patrick's gonna meet with you guys, and we're gonna talk about that. Yes. So, yeah, we're gonna figure that out too. Anybody got any questions that they want to ask? Because I could go on and on about this stuff, but without giving you the numbers and the thresholds, it's like I'm just playing with you. Because this is like the most common. We use these credits all the time. These are the ones that we're going to use how you doing? These are the ones we're going to most commonly use throughout the tax season. Yeah. You just got here, didn't you? You just got here? I told you that every year they give us new credits and we don't know how to use them. That's why. Yeah, every year it's going to be a new credit that's going to pop up. They don't walk us through how to use them. Yes. Yes. I do the virtual. I just tap it. I'll tap it. I'll tap it. Oh, I just said that. Y'all not listening to me. Okay, the 1099-C, the cancellation of debt. Most people know when you add the 1099-C, whatever that cancellation of debt, that's actually income that's added to your income. So it makes your AGI go up. You can't just do a 1099-C without doing the 982. After you put the 1099-C in, you have to do the 982 to cancel out the debt so the money can wipe away. A lot of times we just do the 1099-C and think that's the form is done. You have to go behind that with the 982 to cancel it out completely. Because when we add a 1099-C, say, and I have to give examples because I'm big on examples because a lot of people understand better on examples. So say you make $50,000 and you have a 1099-C for $20,000. Now your income is $70,000 because they add that 20 on. You have to do the 982 to completely cancel it out. If you don't do that 982, you just added 20 more thousand onto your income. Now you're going to owe money. So is that the answer that you're looking for? Yes. And see, in my class, I'm big on examples. I'd rather example you all day because a lot of people understand better when you, yes. Any more questions?
What about 9465?
The installation agreements. That's basically if you owe or you want to make payments to the IRS. In your system, it'll give you a payment breakdown. It'll give you slips, it'll give you forms to attach to the client, and they can send it out. Yes, but what we try to do with those clients, you might get them that first year and they have a situation, but after that, we're going to set them up where they do quarterly payments where they'll never have to pay again. See, I also like to teach my clients how to move forward and not stay, like if you pay every year, you're not going to pay every year with me, because I'm going to show you how the following year how you won't pay again. You don't just keep letting your client pay because they're making too much money. You don't keep letting your client pay because they own a business. You have to set up with your client how, if you know your client's making $100,000, okay, hey, we know their expenses usually run about $30,000 or $40,000. Now we got to figure out, do we need to set up quarterly payments? Do we need to do something with this client where we can set up quarterly payments so this client won't pay again? Because it's easier to pay $600 every quarter than you want to pay somebody $3,000 or $4,000 at the end of the year. So just to be a more efficient tax preparer, your goal is to keep your client from paying. No one wants to keep coming back to you and pay every year. So you have to sit there and look at that income and figure out, how do this won't happen again. So I'm not just doing taxes and taking losses, because I'm not going to keep taking losses from the same person every year. We can't just go hard every time we do your taxes. We have to educate you on how now to not have this situation happen again. So that's another thing that I actually teach. We just have to teach our clients on how to actually, be professional, clients, not just only, because you just can't keep doing this, and we can't keep doing it. So you teach your clients on how to actually set their stuff up so when their taxes are due, they don't owe, and sometimes they might can get something back if you set the quarterly payments up correctly. I will, and I am, yeah. So no more questions. Okay, you guys, I'll be in the back, and when we're done, I can tap my information, but you'll go through the training with Patrick. Patrick will set up all trainings. We'll try to get a date where we can get as many people as possible to just do like one date.
In addition to actually doing online courses that you can do at self-paced, I actually do in-person teaching just like Tina. Tina's great with the forms. She's got you guys figured out. A lot of people had questions about the BOI and what is it and how you can maximize your income from it. This course is available for free, so I will give you guys the actual course upon completion. So we'll go over some of the things so you guys can be fully understanding what's going on with BOI. BOI is followed by FinCEN. FinCEN is the federal government regulation that regulates all money. FinCEN is the pass by to go through any money. So everyone knows the 10,000 rule, right? If you put 10,000 in the account, they're asking too many questions, right? So FinCEN is responsible for that. FinCEN is also responsible for the BOI. The BOI is a beneficial ownership form. They want to know who is benefiting from owning the company. So all those states that had the pass-through LLCs, they will be no more. The people that don't have to worry about this are the self-employed car washes, the self-employed hair folks. None of those people meet a requirement that they have to have a BOI. The people that have to have a BOI are any LLC formed in any state within the United States or its territories, any corporation within the states, and the people that have to be listed on the BOI are anyone that owns 20% of the company or more. So if they actually have a percentage stake in the company greater than 20%, they are responsible for being on the BOI. 25%? The form says 20. It may have went up to 25%. They did do some adjustments, but it could be 25%. So 25% ownership, and they have to fill out the BOI. Let me get this on my tablet real quick, because I can't read that, so I know y'all can. Give me just 1 second, guys. And any one of you guys that want this actual course for yourself, I will provide it at no cost to anyone that's here today. All right. I'm sorry, I'll technical difficulty. Okay, so we're gonna stay up to date with the client's priorities. They're crucial in this fast-paced world of tax preparation. Understanding FinCEN, which is focus, engage, nature, communicate, educate, and network. Basically, all up in your business. Because FinCEN is gonna be all up in everything you got going on, and they wanna know about who's owning it, who's making money from it, so that if something else comes out where the government's issuing funds, they have a system to verify who owns the companies and who's entitled to receive those funds. Can anyone imagine what started that? That's right, PPP. PPP is what did it, right? So the BOI stands for Benefits, Opportunities, Insights. So we're going to go through, they want to clearly outline the benefits of the services that you're actually doing. So what is the company open for? Tax preparation, construction, whatever. They will also verify back to see if you're entitled to that fuel tax credit. Is your company even operating something that can do that? FinCEN is tied to the Internal Revenue Service, okay? They're gonna leverage the analytics to gain insights into the things that are going and the trends and the patterns that are personalized recommendations to align to their goals. The FinCEN and BOI frameworks can help us know what to tell our tax preparers and gain more clients. So not only are we gonna do their BOI and get paid to do their BOI, but we're gonna understand what kind of tax returns they're filing. And if we're suitable to fill those tax returns, who are they gonna turn to? They just gave us all their information to fill out the BOI, right? There are companies that'll do pass-through, so you don't actually have to have the liability of filing it yourself. My particular E&R policy does cover me, so if anything happens or I have an omission that causes some kind of thing to them, then I don't have to worry about that. Right? So in order to stay up on their priorities, so how many of you guys have LLC clients that are currently in your database right now? How many of you reached out to those individuals? Not enough. So BOI has no regulations. It's at our discretion. If you can get $1,000 out of them and that's what you feel comfortable laying your head down doing at night, that's up to you. There's absolutely no regulations. Me personally, I believe I know my worth and I don't want to downsize myself, so I charge $250. I've seen people charging $50, $100. I can make $250 in that same 30 minutes, so I'm not going less than $250. That's my personal standard, and I haven't had anyone argue. They don't know what they're doing. It's very simple and straightforward, but not to them. And that's exactly what I tell them. Would you rather pay me that $250 or do you want to pay that $565 fine on January 1st? And does anyone know where it caps at? $10,000, right? So they can have to do this up until $10,000. If it was open in 2024 and they dissolved it in 2025, I believe there's a place where you have to indicate that. They don't have to worry about indicating that because they won't have that BOI. I know that I had one person that did dissolve it, and when we went in to try to fill it out, it wants it to show that it's active. So we did not complete it. That's a good question, though. What do you mean not active? Like they don't have their registration active? Are they actively using it? That's the same thing she's saying with dissolved. Yeah, so it would have been administratively dissolved. Yeah. Yeah, they went to a Schedule C, a lot of people. What I tell people and what I want you guys to understand is that the information they're asking for is the same thing that they gave the state. The only difference is they're providing their ID to verify their identification. It is literally, you're gonna go in and do a BOI. First of all, you're gonna go through the actual FinCEN website if you guys are doing them. If you're gonna be charging, unless you're having someone else complete it entirely as a third party thing, and you're just gonna upcharge their service. That's one way. Another way is, I'm hungry, I want all my money, so I'm gonna do it myself. And I'm gonna go directly to the FinCEN website. I'm gonna register and do a brand new BOI, and in that BOI, they're gonna want their name, their date of birth, everything that's on the ID, a current address. And one question has already been asked, is the address on the ID gotta match? No. They wanna know where you actually are, where the business is located. If there's no physical location, you can use the one that's on your registration for the state. Sorry. You already ready to go? No, I'm just kidding. So essentially, everything that's on your ID is gonna be the information they're looking for a person. How much a percentage of ownership? Is it 100, 20, 10? If they're 10, do they go on the BOI? No, they're not. No one's worried about them, right? So they have to be a qualified owner in order to be on the BOI. The BOI is to show the federal government who is gaining benefit from this business. That's it, that's all. Now we can make it a lot more, because don't we have to upsell our product? Oh, you absolutely need this. They do absolutely need it. There's a federal requirement for it. So they are your hearing everywhere. You have to have it. Knowing this, I charged my LLCs last year. I knew you had to do it. I want my money now, right? So that my LLCs are done. So now I'm working on fresh. It's $565 a day, up to 7,000. So if it's at 10, you can call FinCEN. FinCEN will pull up their actual balance due. From now that might change. They keep saying there's going to be changes to FinCEN. As Tina said earlier, things change rapidly all the time. But as of right now, your best resource is FinCEN. Federal, you're going to make me do it. All I know is it's FEN, SIN, federal government regulates it, and I don't know it word for word right now. But Tina, you want to tell us? If it's FINCEN.com, that is the website that you need. That is the actual website from the government. Hold on.
Financial Crime Enforcement Network.
Thank you. So I know that in CrossLink and mandatory made us say that we gave them that knowledge. We told them about it, but it doesn't apply to everyone that has a Schedule C. So just because they have a Schedule C does not mean they need a BOI. They have to have an LLC or a corporation. Mm-hmm. Are they reinstating it? Tina asked that question. To the best of my knowledge, a dissolved LLC is not considered. Nonprofits are not considered. They do not have a filing requirement. All right. So how would we collect this information and not be in violation of how we're obtaining their data if we're doing it virtually? Everyone familiar with JotPoint? Encrypted data. You have to make sure that it is encrypted so that it's only them and you able to see the data. And don't forget your encryption password because you'll never see it. Okay? You have to still make sure that you're applying that same theory of WISP where you're protecting the client's information to the BOI information also. That's your liability in it. Is you have to protect their information, you have to enter the information correctly. Not everybody's E&R insurance, errors and admissions insurance will cover you. So if you're going to do it yourself, you either need to know that you're not covered or that you are covered by your E&O policy. Further information that they want to know is they want to know about the business. Where is it registered? What state? Approximately what they expect to see for income. Does that vary? Of course. Just like Tina was discussing, there's cash and non-cash. So you can't control how much items depreciate over time. All right?
What about those states that have closure means that they order like they're not public record?
So what do you mean it's not public record? So that's the whole reason for this. They're doing away with the non-disclosure states. So the hiding of the LLCs and so forth. This is to bring that to the light so that someone can't say they own a corporation that they don't own and collect benefits and funds that aren't accustomed to them.
What about the tax saying you have you put that LLC or if you have it in trust, so you still have to file the defense.
One more time.
I'm just saying that you have a business like you said it's trust.
If it's in a trust, the LLCs have to be reported by the trust. So like I said, it's not giving them access to your bank records. It's not saying you can go into here, you can make changes for me, Fenton. It's saying here I am, I do exist. Okay? So a lot of people are skeptical, but they'll fill out 60 LLCs in a year. Right? Like I go in to check and see if a business is open, I put in their name, they got 12 of them. I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing? Oh, I don't know, I didn't know what I was doing. They still don't know what they're doing. So it is simpler than even filling out an LLC. You don't have to go obtain their EIN. You don't have to help them establish anything. It's all information that they have that you're reporting to the right agency to keep them in compliance, right? Just like tax returns, we're all required to do them. Of course, if they don't want us to do them, if they owe us, right? So they don't worry about us. But we lose that money if we don't file. This way, it's the opposite. So that these people owe them this information. They do not file their BOI, they then have to pay a penalty. A lot of people are not educated in this, or even like some of us, we've seen it and we're like, oh, it's gonna go away, right? It's not going away. I've seen someone already come in crying because they're penalized. Go ahead. Every single business has to be filed. So I have an LLC and a corporation. My tax return office is under a corporation. My teaching is under an LLC. Both of those have to be reported, okay? No, nonprofits do not have to do it, okay? Nonprofits are not in there. Self-employed individuals are not in there. So like if you go through your list and you're going through what your software said BOI is required for, the software doesn't know what BOI is required for. If they're a self-employed individual who work for themselves all year, they're not required. Now, if it's someone issuing those 1099s, those people are most likely required because they're using an EIN number, right? Most EIN, there are sole proprietor EINs too, so make sure that you're verifying that it's not a sole proprietor EIN, because just because they have an EIN doesn't mean they have a qualifying factor, right? It's got to be an actual LLC, a for-profit organization that is under S Corp, C Corp, or LLC. All right? And it's very basic. You want everyone's ID front and back, right? That's actually filing. All of their information current to where they are currently located, and then all of the business information current and up to date. Then once you submit that, go ahead. Yeah, the social security number. So it's all the information that they would need for their tax return, a basic tax return, right? And all the information that they would need for their business. 90% of the time, we have that information in our office already. We're just calling them for the fee. That's free money, free game till the end of the year. Right? Go ahead. Okay, hold on. I'm like her. I got to come to you. Anyone who owns more than 25% interest in the company. No, if they have more than 25% interest in the company, that's why they're doing this, is because people are withholding on Sunbiz. People are withholding here and there. But if you're benefiting from the company, beneficial ownership, they want to know who you are. But it has to be more than 25%. Okay? Any other questions?
Basically,
So if it's administratively dissolved, it's not a business any longer, right? So it has to be an operation, an operational business. A lot of people close them so they don't have to file this. Correct. Either way, there's money on both sides. That's right. A lot of those are already administratively dissolved because they didn't keep up their compliance anyway. But if it's still active and it's still going and they don't want to be related to that, that's right. Tina's got the eyes on the prize. Who knows? We all expect it, right? I know some people rolled out of their bed and went and did all that politician stuff just so they could expect it, right? So expectations are high, but whatever follows through is up to them, right? If I could go cut checks, we all getting PPP. No, I'm just kidding. So essentially, the thing is that they also have to be educated. So some of them are like, oh, I don't want to do BOI. Well, you need to know that every time you're opening up these 12 businesses, you're giving the state government the same information. The exact same information you don't want to give the federal government, you've already been providing. Because if I got 12 businesses and I decide I'm shutting down all 12 of them because Finson's around the corner, I'm just saying audits can be triggered. So what do you think that would trigger? So make sure you're giving them a full encompass. But like Tina said, there's money on both sides.
Let's say in 2025 somebody opened a new business, right?
90 days. Right now it's 90 days. So of course if they open it right now, you'll just say the January 1st because it just makes sense, right? But it is 90 days. If they opened one in June, are they in compliance right now? No, they're already being fined. I did hear that there's an appeal process for the fines until January 2025. I'm trying it. I'll let y'all know how it goes. It's coming. You better go do it. Beat them to the punch. Yeah, so anything that happens, so say you had an LLC, you realize it went into administrative disclosure and you reopened it, you had 90 days to report to the BOI. Corporations that go into default or may have some kind of suspension and you reinstate that business, it's still 90 days. So once we get past January 1st deadline, it's 90 days for everyone. So are you still going to charge the same cost for filing an LLC that you charged last year? No, the cost of business done went up. That's the most important part is realizing your worth. So if we don't know anything but a 1040 form, we can't charge the same price as someone who knows corporate. If we only know a Schedule C and we never even touched the Schedule E, which also would have depreciation, you're going to hurt yourself. So the more knowledge you empower yourself with, the more you learn the forms from Tina, the more you acquire skills in your profession, the quicker you can rely on only your profession. People need help with corporate returns all year. They will keep you on their corporate retainer, just like they do their lawyer, to ensure that their stuff is completed. I don't work anywhere else. I work for me. Oh, and then over here, guess what? I work for me too. It took me a while to get there. I had to learn and educate myself. Like I said, I've been doing it for 15 years. I've been teaching for 14 years. So there's a niche for everyone, right? I will tell everyone and encourage, highly educate yourself on cryptocurrency, because even folks with a Cash App is doing crypto. So it is a Schedule D that you use. It is a Schedule D. You're going to still be doing capital gains and losses. There's documentation needed. So like, that's why it's good to stay with, I always encourage, don't get 20 different places where you got your crypto. If you do, you better keep all 20 logins because you're going to have 20 different forms from 20 different places. So of course, streamlining, keeping it with certain providers. No one can just go and do crypto. It's not a bank account. We can't just go to an ATM and say, hey, I want to deposit crypto. Well, I mean, some places, I guess it's coming. They are going to have a separate form for each one. And then just like, so is anyone familiar with doing stocks? You have a brokerage fee, right? You have fees for all those sites. Those have to be taken into consideration. Those are part of your losses. You have to have those things in order to get the money. You have to pay to get the money. If you have withdrawal costs, those are withdrawal costs. Those are fees to the client. They're not getting that actual money. In the fairness of tax returns, what you're trying to do is illustrate what they have. I'm not going to use any names, but I recently have a client who's been going to a CPA who's approaching retirement, let's say. So his education is stuck in 20 years ago, and he doesn't know what is and isn't acceptable for deductions. That's like Tina said. She said, every year there's new ones. Every year you need more training. Every year you need to put yourself on a different platform so that you can go further, right? So with that, crypto is so fast changing, right? I guarantee you, when Bitcoin jumped 20 grand, a bunch of people pulled out and they're not gonna know how to find all their expenses. You pull that form, so every one of them has a form, and on the back side in their settings, almost every single platform I've ever dealt with has what's called, it itemizes. It itemizes what it costs for each transaction, just like stocks. So it's very similar to stocks, it's just electronic, right? You also, just like a brokerage fee, you're gonna take into consideration how much it costs them to earn that money. So if they had a cash out fee of 3%, that 3% is going to be reduced from the individual stock that was pulled out. So if they pull out 6 in a day, you have to stretch that 3% and divide it by each stock. You can't just leave it with that stock. And I do that class too. Yes. After today, any of the classes with me will be on Zoom. I believe, Tina, didn't you say you're going to do another big one like this? So Patrick will host, and she'll be doing one on all the forms. And that's a very, very, very good thing to understand. A lot of people think everything's just flat out refundable, and there's refundable and non-refundable. If you owe money to the government, you're not getting every penny back. And quite frankly, I learned I don't want to be the one that gets everything back. I kind of like being up here where I got to give a little, take a little, right? So not always do you want to know your client. So if your client is approaching buying a new house, do you want to write them, help make sure they take all these drastic losses and they're $17,000? What kind of house they getting? One of those, what they call them in the back? She sheds. Yeah, you're right. Depending on the she shed, they ain't even getting that. You're right. They say no credit, no money down. So anyone have any questions? No questions about nothing. Y'all have encountered anything with the tax returns that you guys have issues with? You coming back up? So everybody go to the bathroom, get your drinks, and we'll be right back with you.
Now, when we first started, how many people been in the business for over 10 years? 5 years? Okay, so one of the things right now is when we first came in the game was, the industry is that it was the old poppies that was in it. The old poppies was doing the taxes, right? The $50 taxes and everything else, right? So when we came in, we started taking majority of their customers, right? But now, are your numbers going down? They're going up? Huh? Some of them are going down right now, right? Because the people that we had, they had kids. Everybody that we knew, they was dropping kids left and right, left and right, left and right. The numbers was up there, right? So now they're not having kids no more. So the kids that we've been doing all this time, now we're not getting the EIC and the money for them, right? So now we have to make sure that we have new generation inside the office, not only just the new generation to come in. So now we're not obsolete like how when we first came in the industry and took the old bobbies out. Now we're going to be obsolete because these new kids, the new generation, their marketing and everything else, they're getting a lot of customers. They're getting a lot more people than us right now. So we got to understand that, and they're dropping more kids than they were before. You know what I'm saying? So you're not really engaged with them. Are you guys really engaged with the new generation? Huh? They really don't want to deal. You engage with them? Because of your kids, right? So our language with them, they don't want to sit. Now they don't want to sit with us because they want everything to be social media, online. Hey, just send the information. They don't want to come like the old traditional way, sit down with an accountant and everything else. Hey, I'm going to send you my stuff, and this is how it is. So if you're not moving with the times, guess what? You're going to be left behind, right? So that's what the social media marketing does, right? So you have to really want to spend money to get those people out, and then you have to upgrade your office and bring new, fresh blood in there because you got your clients already, but they're already plateaued. So now their kids is having kids. So that's one of the ways that you can really, this thing is too loud, that you can really get more clients and everything else. So nevertheless, TaxPro 360 is powered by PROTAXLINK. So it's a platform where you can do social media, texting, email, WhatsApp. How many people got text from me from WhatsApp from a different number? So that's what this platform can do for you, and it can send text for you. It could do email blasts. It could do a bunch of different things when you want your clients. Social media. I have this venue right here, right? So we did social media marketing, and just the ads alone, it was like 700 to 800 just coming through the thing, but it directly goes to your phone. So you actually seeing in real time if a client wants to sign up with you or however the situation is, it goes through that thing. Crosslink, we have a new mobile app that's coming out in December. So with Crosslink, now we're gonna have the mobile app with the CRM where automatically each preparer can have their own mobile app and then be sending it to each individual client so you know when the client is coming in through that platform. So nevertheless, let me talk about TaxPro 360. Well, I'm not gonna do the video because you guys are not really gonna hear everything. So, what is TaxPro 360? It alleviates you when you have to call the clients and text the client and everything else. You can automatically send these people automatic texts when tax season starts. So automatically, you know how when you'll tell somebody to give the person to call your clients and everything else, you're automatically forwarding and sending these people text, email, and follow up and everything else. Once they go through your platform, they're automatically engaging with the client. Now, you're not talking to them. You have an AI in the background that's automatically sending them text until they actually come to your office on a regular basis through this actual platform. So instead of you automatically always contacting the client until they finish come to the office, then that text stops coming. So it automatically is following up with the client on the thing. So us, we have to get a receptionist, an appointment setter, email, and everything else. The platform does everything for you in that whole ordeal, in that whole platform. Instead of you automatically, once that person goes to one stage, it goes to another stage. Now you're not wasting your time with the client to understand what is really happening in that function until that client is actually ready, right? So another platform that we also have is, and you could put it on there, is how many people do cash advance? So cash advance, it's doing marketing in tax season. You have to have 4 to 5 different ways to bring traffic in there, right? So you got the first batch of people that, hey, they always trying to buy a car, they're always trying to get a new house or a new apartment, they're moving and all that other stuff. So those are the fast people that's coming in the beginning of season. So you have to have a marketing for that. So we call that the first 3 weeks, right? So these are the people they don't care who they sign up with, as long as you got a good deal, they come in with you, right? So you have to be ready for that. So how many people pass out flyers? Nobody? Huh? No? Guess what? If you ain't passing it right now, nobody's passing it, and you go back to passing flyers, you're going to keep your business engaged, right? So when I used to do taxes, I do like 60,000 boxes of flyers passing out, right? If they don't know you, you're not engaged. So we're so comfortable now, we're not doing what got us here. You know what I'm saying? So now how do you promote your area and how do you get people to come there, right? So I'm not telling you, hey, you do your area. Your area is 5 miles. So you worry about your 5 miles of area that you got to promote where you need to go to, right? So you pass out flyers in apartment complexes. Right now they building apartment complexes like crazy. Like crazy. So there's more people in South Florida than they ever had, right? So all this thing with Trump, with this immigration, and these people can feel taxes. So these are new customers that we didn't have before. And these are engagement customers that you can get, right? So if you didn't have a Spanish person in your office or a Haitian person in your office, you need to get one. So these people are gonna bring these people for you because they can file taxes. And what do they have? They got kids, right? So in the end of the day, these are all people that you can file with this upcoming tax season, right? So that's what it helps you in that all field, right? So let's say you pass out the flyers. The flyers go into one thing. How many people do yard signs? No? I ain't hungry. So the yard signs is basically letting you know, engage in everything else. They had this one company called LBS, right? So what they did was they dropped yard signs in every exit that you came from and everything else. You got to be engaged. If nobody knows you, how they gonna come to the office? Go ahead. Let them remove it. Yeah. So, hey, that means, and when you was doing it, were you getting people? So was it worth it? Pay the fine. So, hey, if they don't know you, if that means you're making noise, right? So, in the end of the day, yeah, you got to be a target. So, yeah. So, what you do is you get a number, you get a different number. So then you get a different number. They're gonna be like, hey, who passed these flyers? You want to be engaged, right? You want that client, right? How much do you average? How much was your average fee for a client? So it's worth it, right? It's worth that 1,500, right? So let's just say that they called you the first batch. You just need that first batch, that first flood. First tax season, when the people's coming, that's when you need that first flood. So they're gonna know your office, they're gonna know who you are, how the situation is. So you're making noise in your area, right? So that fine that you got, it could pay for one tax return, right? We already, hey, you ain't hear from me, I'm just telling you. So that's one way of just doing that, right? Then you gotta do guerrilla marketing. For you to be engaged with anybody, if you want to make more money, you want your office to make more people to come in, somebody gotta know you. You gotta make noise. Cause just cause you pay that rent don't mean that people gonna walk. Just how many people in here have an office? Just cause you have the office, does people come into your office? How many tax offices in South Florida right now? Huh? So that rent is just a location for you to sit down and do the taxes. But you have online, you have to pay another rent online. So you have to spend at least $4,500 to $6,000 online to bring traffic in there. You have to do marketing. If you're not doing marketing, you're not getting nowhere. So just because you have an office and you're paying that rent, nobody's coming to see you. Because there's 50,000 offices. If you come to my office and you pass 6 people and you came to my office, I got to know how you came here. You the people's. So I always ask, how did you hear about us? Because there's 10 different offices. So just because I have a sign in front of the door don't mean you coming to see me. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to do marketing. You have to make noise. So if you're not on social media, if you're not doing certain things, you're not going to get more people and stuff like that. So the best thing is, we're going to do something real quick. Cliff, where's my thing at? You know my... All right, so we're going to do something real quick. I ain't... Come here, Cliff. So one of the things is, how do you market your business? How do you get more people to come to your office, right? So Cliff is gonna do something for me real quick, and then I'm gonna go through the Tax Pro 360, and then I'm gonna do something with you guys to show you a trick of how I get people to come in massive, right? So let's go back to Tax Pro 360. It's a marketing platform, right? So what it does is it helps you do intakes and everything else. So when that client comes in for tax-wise and for tax layer, we're gonna have an AI. That AI, it's a platform these guys are coming out and TaxWise is coming out with, is you could automatically have the client fill out the tax return, and then when it comes into your system, all it's gonna do is spit everything out from the W-2 and everything else, and the taxes are already gonna be done. And all you gotta do is look it up. The AI is automatically gonna do everything. So the wave of the future is we're gonna be obsolete pretty soon. You understand what I'm saying? And when your boy Trump is coming out, he's trying to take us out. So you better start working hard this year to figure out, hey, this is our livelihood, and we got to do what we need to do. You understand what I'm saying? So one of the things is, how do you take this and make it to the next level, right? So with PROTAXLINK, we not only do that, we do other things with you guys, right? We help you. You didn't see it? Nah. You didn't see my book bag? You didn't see my book bag? It's in the middle. It's in my book bag. Just bring my book bag. The black one. So one of the things is, I'm trying to do something with y'all to show y'all how this works and stuff like that. So it does intakes and everything else, where inside this platform, once you get that person, it's automatically setting one to another and everything else. How many people have used ClickFunnels, Kajabi, Wix, and everything else? In this actual platform, you have everything in one. You could have your website. How many people have a website inside their office right now in their business? Just one person, two people? You guys need websites. So how many people, I know I'm jumping off subject right now, how many people are looking for business funding inside their office to get $250,000 to $300,000 to $150,000? How many people would like that this year? So you have to be engaged with, nobody knows who you are, right? So if you go to the bank, how many times you went to the bank and they denied you for a loan? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. How many people went to the bank and they got denied? But we make $250,000, we make about $300,000 in our office. Do you know why? Because you're not set up right. Your business is not set up right. You're not on, you don't have a website. So when you go to actually get a loan, when the bank pulls it up, they already know that even social media counts. So they're looking to see if you're a real business. So if you don't got a website, you don't got all that, guess what? You just got denied. So all these things fall in place, right? But we have the money to actually get the loan. You're making $300,000 in your money, but you're not capitalizing on it, right? So with me and my wife, but these are my cards, right? So I know I'm jumping off subject because I do that a lot, but these are all the cards that you can actually get from your business. And you get personal and business. You're not supposed to use your personal. You use your personal for your personal and your business for your business. So now if your business is, if your personal is messed up, your business is not. But you keep your business, you keep your personal up, and then you could use everything for your business, if that makes sense. So one of the things that we're going to be coming out, my wife is the one that does that. She does more on the business funding side. I do more on the software side and everything else. But we're going to, in December, we're going to be coming out in each office. We're going to help you guys get to $200,000 to $300,000, but it's a process that you have to do and steps that you have to do to get those type of money and stuff like that, credit cards and all that other stuff, but it's actually going into your business. So we're going to show you guys how to get more money inside your business on that platform, because by the time tax season comes and you're looking for a loan, the bank is going to see that you have $300,000 to $400,000. That's that only season that we really get that type of money. So once they see that, they're able to give you massive loans on what you made on that profit. So that's one way that y'all could do things. So, got a question? Yeah, your credit score got to be at least about 700. So we'll get your credit score. And actually, this year we're gonna have affiliated. Like if you want to do your clients, where you guys, we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna send you out webinars about that, where you could be affiliated and do credit repair inside your office with your clients, and then you're getting paid and we're getting paid. We have somebody that's actually processing it and all that other stuff. How much you? Not you. What? Not you. What's your average? What's your average price for your clients? 500. Okay. What's your average? 1,000. Okay. So, what's your average, sir? 500. All right. So, you guys, what's your average? Yeah. 6, 7. All right. And you? Mm-hmm. Personal? 250, all right. All right, perfect. About 50, how much? Personal? 499, okay. So what if I told you my average, majority of my clients is about 2,000 to 2,500 per client to like $10,000? Huh? No, just my average fee. How much I make with my clients. Not only bank products. No. Go ahead. Huh? Correct. So when that client comes in, right? So when that client comes in, my average, some clients I've made $20,000, some clients I made $5,000, some clients I made $2,000, some clients I made $250, right? But the average of them sending me more customers is crazy, right? So let's just say they want to get a house. I'm eating off the house. They want to get their business credit or credit repair. I'm eating off that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't just stay on just tax return. So when that client calls in, when they usually call, how many times they call you for their tax return? You just let money go out the door. You're a finance advisor, yo. So as soon as you let that tax return go out, you just lost a mortgage, you lost just a house, you lost everything with that client. So you didn't ask them, hey, when you sitting down with them, did you ask them, hey, what is your plan this year? Are you trying to buy a house? Where are you at and everything else? So now if you didn't have a mortgage broker or however the situation is, now you get with a mortgage broker, they're going to give you, unquote, unquote, marketing fee, $500. So that's another $500 for each of the person that you referred to them, right? So they look at you as their financial advisor with everything that they're doing. So every time they're about to get a new job, they're telling you, hey, what do they do and everything else. So you're taking your time to do that, right? So that's how you grow your client. That's how you make more money with your client, right? So one individual client, you could make at least $5,000 to $20,000 on that client. Right, MVP? Yes, sir. That guy right there, woo! MVP, boy. So, So you can make so much money with that particular client, right? So you got to know how to market with the client, how to ask them a lot of different things that they're going to use for when you're sitting with that client, right? So how many people do cash advance? Huh? So the average of cash advance is what? $6,000 to $7,000, right? So if Wiki is doing cash advance for $6,000 and I'm doing $6,000, but I'm giving $50, who you think they're gonna come? To me, right? So how is it easier for that person to come if I'm telling them, hey, I got $50 and you get this $50 if you come and do tax with me and you go to Wiki. Who you think that they're gonna come to? Huh? So who want the $50? So that's how fast that person is gonna come through your door, right? So I got this guy, he's on Broward, right? So he does $100 and his door be packed. He's not really giving them that $100. Exactly. But If TPG is giving you $6,000 and Refund Advantage is giving you $6,000 and they ran their report and they got their $6,000, are you going to lose your $50? So with us, we'll show you a way where when you give that 50, right? So I have a scenario platform where I could show you it too, but I'm going to show you this and then I'll go to that one. But when you get that $50, right? How is it possible that you're going to lose that money? You're going to get more customers, right? So that's more than you had before, right? So when you say, hey, Pat, I want a loan from TPG, and you go buy Christmas stuff and you paying this, guess what? You ain't getting no more customers coming to your office, right? Because you need to invest back into what's making you that money. You got to drive that traffic. If you're not doing no marketing or however the situation is, and you're not, it's like you're putting a seed out there so people can come and get actual money from you, right? So, yeah, I use that, $50. So $50. So with Refund Advantage, they have this thing where you give them a card. So they come to the office. Once they get the card, you give them a credit card, and then you and you just give it to them. Now they have a $50 gift card with Refund Advantage. So that's something that you could use. They have I think it's up to $2,000. So I don't know if they went up, but it's up. Huh? Yeah, you give it to the client, but I only give them 50. But what's the cap that they give you?
I think this is $4,000.
Oh, so now they went up. Before it was like only $2,000, so now it's $4,000. So you use that to give that to the client. So does H&R Block does it? Do you ever see H&R Block saying they give $50? Huh? Liberty, but they don't get you no money back, but they got people going in there for that $50. You got to remember, you're on a different scale than they are. So that $50 would take them a long way. I went to this town called York, Pennsylvania. Yo, these people are online for $50. Online at Liberty just for $50 to come and do taxes. So it works, you know what I'm saying? So that person don't, and it's another way that you can do it too. Another way you can do it is while you're doing that person taxes, right? How many people send happy birthdays and Merry Christmas to their clients? So imagine now during tax season, right? You take out $50 out of their tax return, right? And then when it's their birthday, you send them that gift card for $50. It's not my money, it's their money. It's always been their money. Right or wrong? So now when you send that to them, they're going to be like, oh, man, he thought about me on my birthday. Nobody thought about me, and they sent me $50? Right or wrong? So these are different methods of you keeping your client, because these new generation, they're going to take your clients if you ain't giving them nothing. So that's one way, right? So how many times you guys, during, before tax season, when do you start contacting your clients? Now? So Thanksgiving, are you guys sending out texts to them? So guess what happens when you talk to them and you send them a text during Thanksgiving? They talk about you, right? As they're talking about you, guess what? Who's in the room with them? Families and friends in there. And then guess what? Hey, you know about my tax guy? He's so nice, this and that. Look at that. Now you're engaging. It's always marketing, right? So does McDonald's still market? Does Pepsi still market? So engage, you have to still market to actually do what you need to do in this business and stuff like that, right? So what TaxPro 360 have? It has a platform for WhatsApp, right? So WhatsApp is something engaged now with the community and everything else. You could automatically send somebody. You could do chat, everything, and market through WhatsApp and have a group. So you could actually send these people text through WhatsApp and everything else. Another thing it does is you have your own website. You could create your own website. If you have 4 to 5 different businesses, you can actually have templates inside there, and you're putting out your own platform to do actual websites inside this actual thing called TaxPro 360. SEOs, you're able to do SEOs, automation and stuff like that. We're not doing that one this year. Increasing your sales, driving traffic. I'm gonna get to the other slide, so that's why I'm going so fast with it. So I'm gonna show you something with the marketing one, and then we'll take a break. So marketing. What is the number one thing in marketing your business and having engagement with your clients? What's the number one thing? Having a product, right? And who is the product? Exactly. So if I ask her to buy her business, right, and she sells the business to me, once she leaves, guess what? I ain't gonna change nothing. Just because I bought her business, they came for her. So you gotta sell yourself. They coming for you. So you're the product. You gotta know how to product yourself and make yourself the product so you know you have engagement with the client, right? Delivery, promotion, and everything else, and having the message, right? So once you have that, you have your client for life and stuff like that. So that's one way, right? The other way is what we talked about earlier. Like, remember I told you guys the e-files and everything else, those people have a way when they come in, right? But the main people that we're looking for is early season, right? The people that want big refunds and they want their money now, right? That's the first batch of people. That's who we look at in the beginning. Then the other people with the W-2s eventually falls off and everything else. But the main first people that you really need is the people that, hey, where are we going? How many people go after those people or they don't do those type of taxes at all? Yeah, so exactly. So what Tina was talking about earlier, these are the people that she'll show you how to get those type of people in the beginning of the season, right? So the second season will be Christy, right? So she's telling you, hey, the people that's in peace of mind, that their taxes is complicated, they want to do certain things with their taxes and their W-2 and everything else. Christy is that type of person to help you guys with that actual platform where, and you guys understand when I tell you early season, right? What type of people those are, right? Self-employed, Schedule C, the people that really don't care who they go to. That's when you really start hitting these tax returns and really going ham after those people. Then it starts slowing down and everything else. Then you have the people that's the procrastinators, that people that, I'm just gonna do my taxes when I'm ready to do it or however the situation is. Have you ever seen the guy with the sign every day outside? Does that work? It worked, because guess what? Every day you see him, you're like, I got to do my taxes. So he's aware of you and everything else, letting you know. If you don't have a sign in front of your office or you're not doing anything, nobody's going to come and see you. You got to stand out, right? So that's how you become bigger and better and everything else, having different things. I got this one guy, right? True story. I've been telling them every year, like, WEWE, these comedians and all that other stuff. So this guy, Wasinto, right? So this last year, he did only 300, right? This year, he did 900. How did he do it? He had an influencer on his platform. Now they came to see him because he had an influencer. It's a comedian guy, however the situation, he bumped up 500 bank products. Why? Because of the fact is, they just want to be engaged with an influencer. This guy right here, I don't know what he does, but he got influencers all day, but they don't use them, but it is what it is. But that's another story. So promoting your message and putting it out there and being engaged, that's how people want to come and see you and everything else, right? So one of the issues is having a brand. And a lot of us don't have a brand to put ourselves out or whatever. So this year, if you guys are ready, PROTAXLINK has, we've been quiet, really quiet, because we've been putting a lot of things in the background to help offices grow. So this year, we're ready to launch anybody that's ready to make more numbers in their office and everything else with the branding and everything else. So we got a team ready for you guys for marketing, Facebook, all these things with this platform that we're talking about, Tax Pro 360, the next level of, go ahead. It's, yeah, the CRM is separate, but the other things are separate, but it's kind of like together in a full package. It's just the growth of everything. So let's say Tax Pro 360 is a different platform, but it helps you with your actual software. But you're paying, it's $97 a month for the actual thing to actually run and everything else. Okay, yeah. So that's one platform. And then The marketing is another, and then the business funding is another. So it's 4 different phases, well, 5 different phases. It just depends where you want to go with it and stuff like that. So we have, like, if you want to do credit repair inside your office, where we have like affiliate thing where you send the client, we take care of everything, and then you get a portion out of that fee of whatever it is. I think it's $1,000. You get $300 out of it, and we get $699 out of that whole platform. So the client will be taken care of and everything else, and then you can move forward with the client. If you had the next phase is, hey, are you ready to buy a house? Then you get your own mortgage. You start working with different people, and it's a step 1 to step 2, step 3, and we can show you guys how to make money and all these affiliation things and stuff like that. So that's one platform. The other one is business funding, like I was telling you earlier. Business funding is a process where not only, I don't know if you guys know, but a lot of people they're buying houses in out of state, all different type of things. So that's funding to get you to that level where you need to go to, right? Let me show you. How many people seen, this is a sign that I was telling you earlier, right? So what does that do when you see that sign? But after it catches your attention, what do they say? I know this is old, but the first thing they ask you, how can I get $5,500 for 2 kids? Right? Right? So when that person is on the phone, if you're a salesperson, you got to sell it right there because you just got that call, right? That's where your fine went to.
Yeah, but it's also tricky because when you get that, some clients don't meet that income bracket to get that refund. Then you gotta create.
That's not true. That's not true. Okay, so when you talk to them, that's where the W-2. Hey, you're not qualified, but that got you on the phone, that got you inside to start talking to them. That had you that conversation. You understand what I'm saying? And usually my flyer, it says with the W-2. So now you automatically, if RS come to you or however it's situated, my flyer, I have a flyer where it says 5,000 with the W-2. So now if a RS agent come to you and you say, hey, you're lying, I said, no, I'm not, because I'm telling them with the W-2. I never told them straight W. Now, if you don't got a W-2 and you schedule C, you got to let them know you got to pay RS. So if you're not educating a client when they sitting with you and everything else, they didn't work the whole year and they want $5,500 and you ain't pay RS, guess what? RS got to get paid. Right or wrong? But this gets them through the door. Yeah, not everybody get it, right? So $50 cash now, right? So the $50 cash now is what I did earlier with you guys and everything else. Look at this guy calling me right now. So what I was telling you earlier was how many people have Louis and all that other stuff that they spend money, $5,000, $6,000 on, right? So did that Louis get you $10,000? So if you don't invest into your actual platform, and that's $50 per 25, that's $1,200. If you invest 25, and this is not my money, this is money that you're investing, that's you getting more clients. So that's $400 that, and I just did a low number, right? So look how much money you're actually making if you really invest into your office. How many of you guys ever invested that? Huh? Does that really make sense? You can make $60,000 out of 65. I don't care if you gave them that. What is your average? Let's be real. What is the average that you do that your bank, when you do an actual tax return and you're 98%, that every time you do a tax return, majority of them come through? How many do you have that sitting inside the system? Not really that much, right? So you're really good at what you do, right? Right or wrong? So where in America that you can make $60,000 by just investing $7,500? Tell me, guys. Huh? So if you invest $7,500, that you automatically, that wasn't your money in the first place. Because you never had the money. You're still getting that money back from a client. What's your average? 1,000. So it takes you how many people? 7 people? I've been giving y'all the sauce for so many years, but nobody put it together. If you give them money, they're going to jump. I showed y'all $50. Nobody, y'all was hesitant. The only reason he got up, he was so close, he just wanted to grab it. Nobody got out of their seats. If you tell them you got money for them, they going to come see you. It's too much competition in the streets now. So in the end of the day, if you're not different from everybody else, what are you guys doing? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. This business, I'm sorry. I'm in this ballroom right now, and it's costing me an arm and leg, right? This is the only business that it only takes you a computer and a printer to do this much money. 500,000, 300,000, $500,000, $1 million. It's just a piece of paper. This is the greatest platform that they could ever create because you only printing out a piece of paper. How much does the paper cost you? Huh? How much did the paper cost you? And right now, all you're doing is doing data entry. I'm sorry. Right or wrong? So this didn't cost you nothing, but you're not really investing into it. So I don't know what to tell you. So this is where the money's at. Either you're going to put money out in your business or you're not. But in the end of the day, this is what you need to do to get to that next level. You can't be like, oh, well, I don't got the money this year, and maybe next year this and that. Hey, the time's running out. My boy back in power, and the game's about to shift. So either you guys understand that, but this is a wake-up call to get you getting these clients and you getting into just different things, just not owning taxes, immigration, all these different things. You have to level your client because that's the only how you're going to make more money in your actual business and everything else. From doing something that's uncomfortable, like you're getting a platform that we're selling only for $500. You're not doing business taxes. Boss man, I know you do business taxes. How many business taxes do you do? 85, right? That's good money, right? How much do you charge? Mm-hmm. Correct. So. Correct. And Christy, how many business taxes do you do? Yeah. 250? Tina? Yeah. Huh? How many? Yeah. 500, right? So, now, my customers, my team, after tax season, I'm not making no money with y'all, but in the end of the day, guess what? After April, y'all stop y'all business. Y'all trying to find money other places, but you have it right there in your system. So you need to upgrade your system so you start doing business taxes. So when you start doing business taxes, guess what happens? Now, you're not only doing the business tax, you're doing the husband and the wife. Then you could turn around and start doing, guess what? The employees that's inside there. So that's how you build your business. That's how you build your platform. So now you're getting more for what you're supposed to be doing on business taxes and everything else. So that's where you get more money, and then you keep your office open for a long time. So how many people remember Winn-Dixie? Is Winn-Dixie still around? Barely, right? Why they not around? Huh? Walmart didn't take them out. Publix didn't take them out. What? Nope. They never change. They stay the same. So now when you go to Walmart, you see all the lights, you see how bright it is. When you go to Winn-Dixie, it's so dark, it's so loomy, the lights are not bright, nothing is going on. Guess what? You like flashy and you like big things, right? You like Target, you like big things, right? So guess what? You stop going to Winn-Dixie, but that's where we started, right? So they never change, right? So are you changing your business? Are you changing your platform to make sure that people want to come into your platform? That's what you got to ask yourself. You want to know that if you're going to be obsolete or not. And that's where we're going at right now. So what's the difference between Popeyes and Chick-fil-A? Huh? Why is Chick-fil-A better? Exactly. Customer service, right? So now Popeye came out with a burger, not a burger, chicken sandwich. What happened when they did that? It went viral, right? People were killing themselves for a chicken. Right? Till today, they still can't figure out the platform. COVID happened, and what did Popeye do? Popeye still made more money. They came with an outside system. Chick-fil-A came out with an outside system. Now they're making way more money, and they figured out how to make more money outside than inside. Popeye still can't do their drive-thru. They're not changing, but guess what? They're making money, but they're not making as much as Chick-fil-A. They're closed on Sundays. Every time we drive and I tell my kids, hey, who want to go to Chick-fil-A? I always do it on Sundays. Always, me. They're closed. They already made their money. They made their money. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to understand, how do we change the game? How do we change our actual business? How do we put ourselves in the next platform or whatever? So we did the tax for 360 already. So this is how you capture the lead, right? So when that first person comes in, I want to get wiki. So how am I going to get wiki? I capture the lead. Once I capture the lead, I nurture the lead. What do you do when you lead? Now I'm calling the wiki. I'm always constantly calling them and everything else. I got this one guy, right? I always use this story in this event because he's here anyway. So put him on here, right? So in this business, you have to capture the lead, right? So you got to figure out, if you want that client, how bad do you really want the client, right? So one time I went knocking on doors, and we just go into different offices, right? I go to this one Haitian office, I knock on the door. He says, no. I don't want it. I said, you didn't hear what I got to say. He didn't want to hear it. He's gone. So I walk out. So now, a week later, I got these other guys that work with me, and they said, hey, Pat, I need you to go to another office with me. Both of them are here right now. I said, okay, I'm going to go to the office. So when we get in front of the office, I said, hell no, I'm not going to this office. He threw me out of the office, right? So now he says, no. We're going to go to the office. So we walk in there. The guy, I walked in there. He saw me. I walked in with somebody else, and they received me. In certain marketing thing, if you can't get the client, you send somebody else. It's how bad you want the business, right? So certain people only going to deal, it's a different way of capturing the lead, right? So now when I went with the other person, now he received me a little better, and then he signed up with me. So either way, you got to know how to market in different people. Some is word of mouth. Some is guerrilla marketing. Some is social media. It's always a different way. How do you market to get who you want to get inside your actual business, right? So with Haitian, Jamaican, and everything else, it's about who you know and where you're going. So while they talking to you, hey, I'm going to this person this year, guess what? That's how you get people to come in, right? So now, I'm going to give you a juice right now. Now, how many Haitians and how many Spanish people and how many different cultures has come into the United States this year? How many? Huh? How many you think? Huh? Hell, more than that. Who? How many you think? More than 1 million. It's about 4.5 that has come to the United States right now, in America right now. Right? Huh? Immigration. So now, that's a lot of taxes to do, and they cut taxes. So the best advice that I would give you is, you see the guys that be standing at Home Depot and everything else, that's not your peoples. So you get to know them, or whoever you got. If you got family members that came in, so that's their language, that's their people. So now you get them to bring people for you. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't got a Spanish person, you do the same thing with a Spanish person, because they're getting paid per month to be here. And guess what it's coming out of? Your money. So you better figure out how to get more money out of them so you can capitalize on what's going on. Y'all understand? So I gave you another jewels, right? So that's nurturing the client. Now, when that person come in, you just got to close them. You understand what I'm saying? Once that person sit over there in that seat, I automatically let them know I don't do $50 taxes. But once you sit there and I start typing, I'm doing these tax returns. So that's what it is. So that's how it is, right? So the actual platform that you have that you see, these are all the things that's behind the scenes inside this platform that you're not doing nothing. These are things that we have inside your social media that's going from step to step to step to step until that client comes to you. That's what we're building for you in the background inside your office. So once that client comes in, these are the engagements that's going on until that client is ready, and then you're getting to sign them as your platform inside the actual platform. How many times that you've been on social media and you're typing something and it's going step by step and everything else? Have y'all done that before? This is what's going on. This is called a sales funnel. So that funnel, that AI is actually doing everything for you. And it's tested in this business, and it's tested in this actual venue right now. I did a viral and it went crazy, but I'm getting leads left and right, and I'll show you that in a few if y'all guys got time. So membership, we have like different platforms where it teaches you. We're coming up with it next year, whatever, where it has like you could do your own courses inside there if you want to, inside the actual platform. So you're learning different things. We have different things inside the platform where you can teach your actual preparers and everything else. So we talked about this already. So majority of all this, we talked about it earlier and everything else. So, no, we ain't doing the free phones no more. This is next year. So anybody has any questions? I got you. We'll talk about it later. We're going to send everybody how they want to sign up and how they want to grow their office this upcoming tax season. I'm going to make you guys give me your phone number and email and stuff like that, and who's looking to grow their actual office. And majority everybody, I think, is with me. I think, what's your name? You with PROTAXLINK? What's your name of office? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I know everybody by the name of office. And you? Huh? Inel. What's the name of your office? You with PROTAXLINK? Yeah, okay. And you're not with PROTAXLINK. What's the name of your office? Yeah. Okay, so we'll have Maggie talk to you and everything else. Who's in here that's not with PROTAXLINK? Everybody's in with PROTAXLINK? But you. So we gotta get you on our team and stuff like that. So, so majority everybody's here with PROTAXLINK. So what we want to do is get you guys, Maholi, you could start. Yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up and everything else. Does anybody have any questions for Tina and Christy? Huh? The classes. So who's interested in they have 2 different classes, right? So I want them to come in here and break down the classes, what they're gonna be teaching and stuff like that. And then you guys get the information and stuff. Both of them teach 2 different type of things, and you guys can start engaging with them. And so that y'all could start learning more things in your office, where even after tax season, where you guys are engaging, like after tax season, both of them are really equipped, like they're always busy and they making stupid money inside the office. So that's why we brought them in here today, to show you guys how to maximize your office and make more money on just not only doing the returns. Like a lot of us are just like, even me, I'm gonna sit down in a class and I don't even do that, period. You know what I'm saying? So when they were talking to me and they telling me different things, I'm like, I wasn't informed about all these things that they were talking about and stuff like that. So even with me, I don't do taxes no more. So, but me knowing the knowledge and extra is always extra for me to understand what's actually happening and stuff like that. So how many people are pumped up for this year to boost up their numbers? What y'all looking at? What y'all looking at? Yeah, nothing this year? So, how many people are looking to make more money in their office this year? So, what is it going to take? Huh? Not only Tax Pro 360, how much are y'all willing to invest into your office? That's the main thing. You understand what I'm saying? What are you looking to get more people to come to your office? Huh? Maggie, you want to say something? Go ahead. No, I don't. So, yeah, so lunch is there. I'll collect. Whoever wants to sign up with Tina and Christy, just hit me up so we can start doing that and setting up a form. Like, they're going to be doing it. She's going to be doing it online.
Yeah, they have my card. If you don't have my card's on the table right in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I have courses online that are being uploaded with the new information as we speak. I have a live class that will give you the annual season filing prepared certificate. It starts Monday, actually this coming Monday. There'll be another one in December, but the one for Monday is $250. It's for the whole week. It's from 5 to 9. When you're finished with that class, you actually get your annual season filing prepared. And of course, I put the tips and tricks in along the way. So you can get that in 1 week's time, and then you'll be registered, and you get your certificate.
To them about the flood and Schedule A.
We covered disaster a little bit. A lot of you guys weren't in here. Do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of you guys weren't in here when I was speaking earlier. There's a lot of changes that came along. How many of you guys got your P10 already? Y'all just clicked through it, didn't you? You didn't read it at all, did you? Right. You actually already told the IRS that you have a WISP in your office, and you're going to tell them exactly how you're protecting their client's information when they walk in your door. And you agree to this, and you already got your P10, because if you have your P10, you click the box. Everybody who's got a P10, click the box, because guess what? You can't get it without clicking it. So I go over WISP in the class too. I also have a lot of online courses, like I said, that'll be available. Click to do in your own time. You get your certificates when you're completed. The annual season filing prepared, I do not do is just a click and pass. You have to participate in the class. I also teach corporate taxes. The corporate tax class will be the first week in December. That is $600. We go over all 3 different types of corporate returns, how to file them, and how to take your office to the next level. Me and Tina alike, we don't do anything else but taxes. Ain't no side hustles, ain't none of that going on. We just do taxes. So I guess my side hustle is teaching. So I give my wealth of knowledge to you guys right behind it. I don't know, I heard earlier Fort Lauderdale really didn't get hit very hard as far as the hurricanes go. I'm from Florida originally. I moved to Georgia. The hurricane started coming with us. We got beat down. I'm talking about we're still trying to walk down the blocks and get past trees. So they're not prepared to deal with it like Florida is. They don't have disaster coverage. Who gets disaster coverage in Georgia? Atlanta, disaster coverage. Tennessee, none of those folks got disaster coverage. And some of these folks lost their whole home. I don't care what insurance gave them, it ain't enough. They lost their contents. Most people don't have contents insurance. So there's gonna be gaps. Those gaps allow the Schedule A to become a necessary document. As long as you can back up what y'all are putting on these tax returns and they're providing the documentation, you're able to do it. You're not gonna be scared about an audit because it's already in your folder. And you have to worry about, just like back in the day when we had to get the 3 locks on our office, the alarm, you have to protect their information in the office. Now they're ensuring that you're protecting it online. All right, so I have a lot of those classes available. I'm gonna give the mic to Tina. Tina's great.
Okay, I'm just gonna do like a review of the things that we talked about for the ones who weren't here earlier. Basically, my course, I do a Schedule C boot camp. That's for the people who are, most of their clients are self-employed. That's a different class. And we do the do's and don'ts of the Schedule C. We also, I'm big on like, how can I say, like my classes are more of the cap outs, like how you stay in the safe zones, what would trigger an audit, the things that the IRS is looking for when you do these Schedule Cs that automatically just put you in the red that you are to review. I'm big on teaching those things to keep you away from that. I'm not gonna say if you got documents, put it all in, because yeah, you can put it all in, but if you know putting all that in is gonna get you audited, me personally tell you stay on the safe side unless you just wanna wait for your taxes all year. Now, if you're trying to get your tax return back, you wanna keep the safe, you wanna stay in the safe zone where you don't get audited. There are a lot of red flags. What's happening is people are not matching the deductions with the actual profession. And that's big with everybody. They're just trying to take as many deductions as possible, but the IRS is looking for those things that are not matching the actual profession. You guys are not putting the right codes in. We're trying to do the 99900 because we're lazy. Little things like that. When I teach my Schedule C boot camp, it teaches you all those things. Also, it tells you you don't want to go over 30% of your AGI when you're taking deductions. If you do too much, you automatically in the red flag. That's your trigger zones. So that Schedule C boot camps, it teaches you the do's and don'ts of those Schedule Cs. You know, we got those people, I call them professional taxers, who just don't work. They are self-employed or whatever they do. I don't know what it is. Or whatever they come up with around tax time, that's what they do. Those people who have nothing and you're basically coming up with that information on the spot, we have to create those ledgers. The IRS has rules and guidelines. If people don't have proper receipts, they will let you recreate receipts. So don't think because your person didn't give you receipts, it's not against the law to recreate receipts. People have fires, people move, they lose things, so they will allow you to recreate receipts. We just have to be knowledgeable of what we need to do to make sure those people who are self-employed, who don't keep accurate records, that we have that in our file. We can make the documents that day when we do the taxes. Of course, those are the people that might pay a whole lot of more money than the others because you're supposed to come with your documents. I shouldn't have to help you recreate things that you've lost, per se. We also talked about different forms, the new forms, a lot of new forms that are out that popped out last year with a lot of new credits. We talked about the EB credit. We talked about that the EB credit doesn't work. It's based on a lot of incomes. A lot of times you got the people that go buy new cars, they buy used EB cars, and they try to apply that credit. And they're doing everything. They're putting the make, the model, the VIN, and all that information in, but the money isn't changing. That's because those credits are income-based. Your client can't get credit for a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 car, and they only make $22,000 for the year. That credit won't work for you, so don't make yourself look like a fool by sitting here filling all this VIN number, make, model, how much did you pay, just to tell the person you got nothing back. So the form course, it actually teaches you what forms to apply, when you can apply them, what's the thresholds. I also talked about, what was one of the things we talked about that was, I talked about the premium tax credit. I talked about how it's kind of, I would suggest you put the premium tax credit on at the end, because a lot of people are not noticing that when they go do when they get this free marketplace insurance, that they are giving an income that's not valid. So when they do the marketplace, they might say, oh, I make $25,000. But when you do their taxes, it's $45,000. So now you're wondering, or this person is wondering why, when I went over here, I get $6,000. I'm over here, I'm only getting $2,000. Yeah, because you got this marketplace insurance at a low income, but when you actually did your taxes, your income is higher. So they're charging you for that marketplace. So if you put the marketplace on the end, you'll see that in the beginning, yeah, you're getting $5,000. But when I add this marketplace 1095A, you went down to $1,000. Why? Because you reported an income that didn't match. Yeah, people might get a job and they might get a raise and their income might go up. But a lot of people think that they can get away with reporting a low income just to get the free insurance. The insurance is not free because you're going to pay in the back. So we want to also educate our clients so they don't think they're getting away and then thinking it's us who's actually not able to get a refund. Something else we talked about, I'm just trying to go over the stuff we already talked about for the latecomers. We talked about the solar credit. I'm sorry? Oh, the first-time home buyer credit. We had a lady who said she was trying to use the first-time home buyer credit. I want to say in 2008, we started using, people got that $8,000 or whatever it was for the first-time home buyer credit. 2024 should be the last year of that first-time home buyer credit. And FYI, it's at the end, so the number that is owed is very small unless your client's skip years doing taxes. But if they've done taxes every year since that year that they got that 5405, next year will probably be the last year, and it's probably going to be under $200 that they owe. There's no way you're going to know the exact amount unless you call the preparers hotline. That client has to call the preparers hotline or the IRS to get the exact amount that's owed, because every time you submit it, it could be $2, it could be $55, it could be $130. They're not going to know because they're not actually keeping track of what they paid since 2018. So a lot of times they'll think that they can get away without adding it, and what happens? They get rejected, and they got to go in and still add it. So that information your client will need to know, and if they're not sure, you kind of want to make sure that they go in and get that information before kind of wasting your time, because you will keep putting it in until you get that right number. The solar credit. The solar credit, basically that's income based. A lot of times, you know, they sell solar panels to people and they tell them, oh, you can get up to $25,000 back, but they're not telling them that you can't make $25,000. That credit is for people who are up in numbers. And like I said earlier, yeah, we got Trump this time, we got him back. You guys are gonna see a lot of credits that are for higher income people, because the higher income people are kind of sad that the low income is getting the EIC, they're getting all this credit, and the higher income is the one paying all the taxes. So they're trying to, their credits is just for people who make a lot of money. The credits are not just for the low income. So those EV credits and those solar credits, those are for the people that are actually making money. Those credits are just set aside for them. So when you got a regular client, and when I say regular, like a $25,000, $30,000 client, those credits won't even apply to them because they don't make the money. So I don't want you guys wasting time packing these forms out, filling all these forms out just to find out this client doesn't even qualify for that credit. So the form class, it's a lot. For the ones who are not here, the paper's over there on the desk. All of these forms, you're gonna get all the information, you're gonna get the thresholds, you're gonna get the incomes, you're gonna get just like the do's and don'ts on how do you use these forms. Okay, daycare is the #1 income base. If you're under 24,000, don't even waste your time. And the class will teach you, just some credits just don't work no matter what. It's your income. If you're under 24,000, don't use the daycare credit because you're not going to get any credit for it. It's a lot of forms on here that is income based. So a lot of times we just know this credit is for that, but we don't know. It doesn't even apply to the client. And you just look like you're not professional if you waste the client's time by collecting all this information just to say nothing changed. So why waste time? Work smarter, not harder. Let's see something else. We talked about the depreciation. We talked about depreciation. The example we used was if a person was trying to buy a house. You know, sometimes when people are trying to buy a house, they'll tell you, oh, don't take no loss. I don't need any loss on my tax return, so don't drop my income down. If you're using the Schedule C, depreciation doesn't count as income loss. So you can still get the income down using the, 4562 form on the depreciation and still get a decent refund versus going line item for line item on the Schedule C. They don't count the depreciation away from your income like they do line items. So that's just like a little ticket if you had a client that were interested in purchasing a home, but they wanted to take their income down a little bit, but they didn't want it to show as a loss. So that's the like secret on depreciation and, you know, Schedule C's. I'm trying to think, what else did we talk about that might, the cancellation of debt. The form cancellation of debt, the 1099-C. A lot of times we know when we add the 1099-C onto a tax return, whatever our income is at that time, if our income is $40,000 and you have a cancellation of debt for $10,000, when you put that cancellation of debt, it automatically makes your income what, $50,000? You have to add the 982 to completely cancel out the debt. If you don't follow that 1099-C with the 982, that you just added $10,000 of the income on your tax return. So the 982 has to be added to cancel out the debt. I'm going to show you how to fill that out so you can actually cancel out the debt. So just little things. If you take the course with the forms, it's just education on all the forms, the thresholds, the income amounts, and things like that. So if anybody is interested in that course, I can talk to you later. We can set up I kind of like want to do just one big class, even if it's in person or online, and just get everybody at one time because it's almost the end of the year and we got to get it in because tax season will be around the corner shortly. Anybody got any questions? It was something else that I think everybody was interested in. I'm not really sure. Yeah, but you guys just read over the list, and I can pass out the list again. If it's anything that you want to talk about before you leave, just let me know, and I'll reiterate on that. Patrick. I'll pass out the ones we just named.
All right, let's give Tina and Chrissy a round of applause for coming out here. I had to drag them to come here to show y'all. So did y'all get anything out of what they was telling you guys? Was it good information? So if I were you guys, I would sign up for their classes. I don't sit in classes this year. I told them I'm gonna sit in their classes. I do not sit in classes, but just the things that they was telling me, remember what I was telling you. If you're doing the same thing that you was doing in 09 and you're not educating yourself and learning more things, guess what? You're doing a disservice to your clients and what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So now when I'm doing the taxes, right? When I decided, I think that was like last year or the year before, I said, I can't do these taxes no more. I did somebody's taxes and I didn't get them no money, right? Then I gave it to my preparer. He ended up getting them like $3,000 more. I said, yo, this is crazy. So guess what? I never really sat down to educate myself on doing the taxes. So I shouldn't be doing nobody's taxes unless I sit down in the actual, because I do more marketing than ever. I don't really do the taxes no more, but I have certain clients that do come in. But if I can't help them, guess what? It's a disservice, right? So one of the things is, like I'm trying to tell y'all, educate yourself so you get more money. With the business funding side, whoever is looking to actually make more money and do the business, trust me, guys, the platform that we just went to go get, we just paid a lot of money for it, and we're getting a lot of people business funding. We have like a whole bunch of people that's actually getting funded for this upcoming tax season and everything else, and moving forward and everything else. So this is one of the biggest things that to keep you guys engaged. When that money dries out and y'all looking to get more money, like y'all trying to get right now, we can show you how to leverage your money and make more money in this business funding. And then one of the biggest things that we're going to be creating, we need to create a CEO group, right? So it's a board member of different people that's on the board where now we leverage our money. How many people in here would like to buy a hotel? How many people in here would like to buy an apartment complex? Why can't you buy an apartment complex or a building right now? Huh? What? We know how to do it, but do we have the money? Right? So there's a lot of people, there's a lot of money in this building, right? But now, if I tell this man I need 250, he give me 250, he give me 200, and give me 250, how much is that? Huh? That's $1 million, right? I go to another group, I say 250, 250, 250, 250. How much is that? $2 million, right? So why are the other people doing it and we can't do it? Huh? Huh? Say that again. Say that again. Exactly. So I'm in a platform right now that this year I went to a platform. It's called Rising King, right? So in that Rising King, it's nothing but multimillionaires in there. Everybody in that group, 16 million, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, 8 million, and it's a bunch of different people of ways of thinking different. So you got to be thinking different in another level. So this group is, I call them my brothers, and we're doing different things. I'm doing different things with them, and it's another level. So in my platform, I'm doing nothing with you guys. So I sat in a room where it was $1 billion inside the room. In my room, I could tell you in our whole platform, I think it's about $30 million that come through my actual PROTAXLINK. Are we together? Are we connected? No. So these other people are doing it, and when I sat in a room and I looked at it, it was crazy. And I took Maggie, I think when we did go? When did you go to the Rising Queen? When was it? A month ago? Huh? When? September. I sat in a room and I showed Maggie, I said, do you see what's happening? I promise you, this man in one day, when I went in there, he made $1.2 million. That day, he made $3.5 million in that room. I promise you, I'm not lying to you. So these are the things these people are doing, but we're just sitting in one source of just thinking of one income, just this tax money. You guys are not leveraging what you have inside your business. The people that you have, you don't know what you have. You know H&R Block will buy your business right now? Do you know they know what to do with that money? Do you know H&R Block is being sued right now for their data? You know what they did with their data? They outsourced their data and they made millions of dollars with their data. Millions. So everything that I told you, they did it with insurance. So what they did is they sold the data and then now these people know their data. So H&R Block got in trouble for that. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is you got a data that you're not even using. You're not even making money. Y'all think y'all making money with this data. Y'all not making that money with that data. That data is golden. Each client that comes to your office, you can make more than that $250 with them. But y'all not using it in that actual platform. Insurance, credit, Obamacare, all these things, house, getting these people engaged and everything else. Every time they ask you for that piece of paper, they gonna go do something with that paper. But you never asked them while you was doing their tax return. You need to ask them, hey, step 1, step 2, step 3, you just did their tax return and let them walk out that door. You're not having a conversation with them. So guess what? You just let money go out that door. So if you guys are willing to learn and understand what that means and just not make that $500 to $300 on that client, like one of the persons that really showed me a lot and I learned a lot too from understand MVP works them clients. When you go to MVP office, he got 10 things that he's about to sell you before you walk out of there. I've never seen that before. Before you leave MVP office, I promise you no lie, he came out with, he got his own, what was it, MVP? Your own light? Huh? He branded his own light. Before you leave this man's office, he's selling you 4 or 5 things before you leave that office. I promise you, if you ever go to MVP, what's MVP slogan? Jimmy. Fix your phone, everything. What's the slogan? MVP. But, huh? What is it? 601? So what I'm trying to tell you is you have to market your actual business, and when that client comes in, you got to sell them everything, not just taxes. You understand what I'm saying? Now you have that person, regardless of the situation, they're not going to leave you for nothing. I promise you, when you go to this man's office, he'll sell you everything. Like he had 4 different things branded under his name that he paid for. Matter of fact, he came out with a bike, and he put his name on there. I promise you, MVP, do you have your own bike, motorcycle? I told you. So what I'm trying to tell you is you got to take this business to another level. You understand what I'm saying? And the time is now because Trump is not playing. So another thing is, later on, we'll do a webinar. I can't really talk because we're on live or whatever, but we're going to do a webinar with you guys and tell you guys what to watch out this upcoming tax season, because there's a lot of things that we've been doing in our office. That's what you got to get with Tina and Christy about, because just the fact is you do not want to get audited. They're out here. So,
Some of y'all's offices again, by the way, that COVID is lifted. They can come back in the offices after the tax season.
Correct. So I want you guys to be very cautious of everything that you guys do now and everything else, because we are a target. There's money to be made out there. You know what I'm saying? So guys, we got refreshments, whatever you guys want to do, and then I want to get a couple testimonials from you guys back there and everything else if you guys want to give me. And then Google reviews is always good too. And that's another thing you need to do in your office, right? So when the client comes in, for us to do business funding and everything else, you guys got to get Google reviews from your clients. It counts so much. Everything counts on how you get your money. So PROTAXLINK did a service for you guys today. So if you guys want to say how good PROTAXLINK and everything, Google reviews is always good. In your business, when you give that person a check, go on Facebook, show that you're giving them a check. All these things happens, and you also have to tell them to do a Google review for you. Google review will bring you so much different. That brings you in another level of different things. And to close it out, how many people doing online taxes? Online. Traffic from online. Not everyone. No, when I'm saying online, getting online traffic, like getting from like, do you know they have online traffic that you guys, that I didn't know, I just found that 2 years ago. The people that go to TurboTax and you doing that Obamacare, you know, I got somebody that makes over $2.5 million just online taxes and don't have a tax office. Huh? Oh, you did a Google review for me? I'll give you something, sir. Where's my tab? Hey, Cliff. I don't got that much, but here, I'll give you, thank you. I'll give you a tablet, sir. Oh, thank you. So basically, you have to give that client something if you want to do something. There's another thing that you could do with the clients too. So when we do the webinar, I'm going to do a big webinar with you guys. I'm going to show you how to pull some clients in, and it's not going to cost you as much, right? So I don't know if you guys do that Amazon. You know they got Amazon boxes and stuff like that for $500. When the client comes in, you can start giving these clients, out of $500, you start giving them certain things out of that box. You know what I'm saying? Pallets. It's a big pallet full of 300 things inside that pallet, right? So you give them certain things. Before we go, how many people got a nonprofit in here? How many people do Christmas giveaways? Turkeys. So these things that you have to get engaged with, right? You, even if you're not doing it, you get with somebody that's actually doing it, and you go put your brand out there. So you tell your clients to go out there, and you act like it's your thing. But you have to sponsor these people and everything else. You got to be engaged. If you're not engaged, it's not going to work out. You know what I'm saying? So every year we do something with one of my mentors. His name is Terry Elliott. Is down in, where's it at? Miami, right? And it's a hood. But it's so much people that go out there, you can promote your business while you out there. You understand what I'm saying? And it's a whole bunch of people, and you're sponsoring, and you're giving out toys. So all these things, you just got to give back and everything else. But guys, thank you for showing up. Thanks for coming out. We got more things coming this upcoming tax season. Like I told you, the business funding and all that other stuff is going to be major, where you guys can actually make stupid amount of money on doing different things. So I already got Wiki on there, and Cliff, and a couple other people that's already signing up or whatever. So guys, thank you for coming. Anybody has any questions? No? So yeah. So whoever wants to link to the class that starts Monday, she has the link and everything else. We have food and everything else back there for you guys. You're going to have your own portal. So you'll have your own portal and your own branding inside there. When they come to your office, you sign them up and everything else, and then you send it back into the portal, and then we'll start working on the client. Then if they want business funding, then that's a whole different other process and everything else. But we got to get them first ready for getting ready them for funding first, and then after that they can go to business funding. But automatically, the difference between, how many people understand the difference between credit repair and business funding? You understand? All right, so credit repair, what we do with the credit repair, we get you up to $75,000 to $80,000. That's just on the side of credit, on personal, right? For the business funding, that's a whole different platform where we get you up to $250,000 on that end. So you'll have two different separate things together. You understand what I'm saying? Personal and business, the personal, once you start getting your personal, we leave that. Once I fix your credit to that point where it's ready to be fixed, it stays at 700 or whatever. Now you're only using your business. And once we fix it, do not mess it up again. Just stay working on your business. So then you could just play with that so you're not changing back and forth. All right? So, all right. So, guys, y'all can get something to eat and everything else, but thanks for coming.
Tax séminaire avec PROTAXLINK, nous connaissons qui fait chaque année. Et je dis à nous dans Casa de Amore, mais nous connaissons un event qui fait pretty much throughout the entire country. So, il y a des fois où nous Orlando, ou bien où nous ici, où PROTAXLINK est droit dans l'autre state quelconque. Mais avant même, je dis à nous gagner MVP Wireless qui c'est il fait partie de PROTAXLINK et nous connaissons peut-être un peu le monde ne doit pas connaître qui est MVP mais quand même c'est un qui travaille dans le système ça pas un bon petit temps là tout qui a expérience là-dedans qui connaît et toute marche à suivre. Il était dans summit dans jeudi à MVP welcome comme bagaille yo qui ça fait.
Et ça intéresse ça là, ça de tout le monde qui peut garder mission ça là. Je dis à son plaisir pour nous avoir.
MVP malgré tout et ça qu'on connaît dans le domaine malgré peut-être ou travailler dans le domaine pendant un petit temps mais on toujours dans summit right parce que me rappelle l'année dernière on était là ou t'es là tout nous Orlando t'es là now pour qui raison continuer participer dans summit comme ça et qui ça fait toujours présent dans yo.
Alors faut que moi rappelle et on grandit avec PROTAXLINK même de on grandit et si PROTAXLINK exemple oui ma PROTAXLINK pour presque 9 à 10 ans. Yeah. Donc PROTAXLINK moi-même son produit PROTAXLINK. Ça veut dire on grandit avec eux n'importe ça qu'a fait nous toujours là. Et ça vient permettre moi grandir plus. Pas oublier nous pas jamais fin connaître. Nous venons là, nous apprendre. Que bagay c'est année am vinn tande. Tandis que dans business pour 10 pour dans business là même pour plus que 12 ans, même avec PROTAXLINK pour 10 ans, mais que bagay c'est l'aime vinn dans event, l'aime vinn dans sommet, m'tande parce que me pas connaître. Donc c'est raison ça qui cause depuis ce côté gon séminaire, depuis ce côté gon event moi même toujours prêt. Pour me déplacer, pour m'apprendre.
Oh, très bien, très bien. Non, bon, mal dire qu'on y a la question que je me pose, c'est que dans toute phase que vous prenez dans le business qu'on y a là, est-ce que vous êtes un monde qui plus ou moins travaille avec l'autre business ou du moins still plus ou moins travaille avec single client, individual, ceux qui sont plus focus qu'on y a là?
Non, je fais tout. Je fais business, je fais personnel. Et puis tout je travaille avec Andy, moun qui envie venir faire venir dans business là, je travaille avec tout, me teach yo, m'apprendre et puis me guider tout. Ça vient permettre si par exemple je tombe un bon élément, je tombe bon professionnel, yo vient un bon professionnel tout. C'est une raison. Des fois je me tente pour m'aller, mais là me songe bon moment. On dit qu'est côté me aller, ça me va le faire. Vous comprenez ça veut dire ou grandir côté ou côté à apprendre mon pile bagaille.
Non, il y a un bagage c'est que me connais ou même au base plus là Broward County mais est-ce que vous avez une limite et par rapport à côté au travail mon aider?
Non pas une base qui Broward County. Alors moi même résider dans Fort Lauderdale. Mais moi même j'ai un client qui Texas. J'ai un client qui Jacksonville, Californie. Et puis j'ai un client New York tout, Boston. Mais pas avec des clients de tous côtés.
Non, il y a un bagage nous toujours réaliser tout c'est que monde et que wap coach en majeure partie en plein toujours fait partie des events. Yo obviously ouvre venir tout pour yo capable apprendre et c'est que qui neuf qu'on y a là au cours des années tout business que wap coach qu'on y a là dans business ça est-ce que ou même ou gain event que vous créé pour yo bien ou gain une façon que vous rencontrer ensemble avec eux de temps en temps pour coach making sure that you a fait ça qui est correct.
Alors moun ça des fois event PROTAXLINK c'est pour moi tout parce que moi même si me tout temps dans business nous sont un partenaire comme d'a dit ça et qui nous sont partenaires dans business on Comme moi échappé, nous sommes partenaires de business. Ça veut dire event PROTAXLINK, c'est event client mieux tout. Parce que qui dit PROTAXLINK, c'est dit moi-même. Ça veut dire moun ou carrément quand bam chita ensemble avec client mieux. Ça veut dire yo vinn dans event yo, c'est comme si c'est moi au té ouais. Ça veut dire gen bagay si m'ba là PROTAXLINK fait yo pour moi. Ça veut dire tout client yo vinn dans PROTAXLINK. Par exemple, nous Texas et en mois de disons avril, en mois de juin, m'étais jeune à client mieux. Gen l'autre event m'pas de chance m'daller mais client mieux était là, c'est PROTAXLINK et disons prend soin de moi.
OK. Now nous connaissons yon bagay m'dame de tout c'est que na event PROTAXLINK yo gen en pile et l'autre bagay qui yo touché par exemple gen en pile speaker qui là qui peut-être parler de différents bagay pas nécessairement seulement yon tax return ou bien tax. Est-ce que gen l'autre bagay tout que ou même ou coach office qui a travaillé en partnership ensemble avec gen l'autre bagay que coach yon yo?
Par exemple gen en pile bagay peut-être m'pa di là m'te ka di le mais si mal prend temps pour m'expliquer la balle vinn prendre trop de temps par exemple gen pile expérience me fait avec PROTAXLINK et expérience ça vinn permettre client mieux bénéficier de yo. Par exemple j'ai un client qui était de ARS plus que $50,000 je dis dette yo payé. Bon ça veut dire j'ai un client qui t'a peut-être font mauvaise expérience moun n'a pas vraiment train bien en taxe à l'aide des events et PROTAXLINK yo à l'aide des speakers là moun qui sont dans ARS qui parler moun qui sont dans banque qui parler vinn aider clients ça comment pour yo éviter red flag yo pour yo pas paraître une menace pour ARS et puis tout nous-mêmes nous fait immigration nous pas dire nous c'est top mais ça qui ouais avec nous fait aux clients ça aussi intéressé nous apprendre immigration ça veut dire les moun viennent dans office moun pas venir pour taxe seulement office mais ouvrir toute année moun pas venir pour taxe seulement moun venir pour immigration les venir pour mortgage par exemple on a besoin acheter un caille faut qu'à conseiller moun comment qui ça pour faire moun a besoin prêter l'argent sous business faut qu'à conseiller moun qui comment et qui gens pour le joindre comme la business funding tout ça nous apprendre clients nous apprendre et moun qui avec nous comment pour faire ça dans business.
Très bien, ça veut dire coach moun yo sur plusieurs aspects moun qui un business yo. Now ça l'autre ban t'a demandé encore c'est parce que m'était ouais et en bataille à groupe moun qui dans ensemble avec yo et moun qui a coach ou t'es toujours pas son des conseils ou t'a parler ensemble avec yo. Est-ce que vous satisfait à moun ça par rapport à côté où t'es prend yo et côté où senti yo et jodi le fait que yo toujours accompagné venir dans event ça?
Très satisfait mon cher. Si par exemple moun nan ka sur moi vinn là, ça veut dire moun nan lui-même accepter avec. Si moun nan pas satisfait, gen moun s'il pas satisfait même parler pas avant non. Ça veut dire ouais moi même son famille m'bati.
Très bien. MVP Konya là pour est-ce que bon alors est-ce que conseiller par exemple gen monde qui pas nécessairement affilié avec ou bien à partir quelconque monde qui gen officieux dehors est-ce que tu as conseillé monde ça yo pour yo prendre contact ensemble avec pour faire partie des events ça yo pour ou même venir coach pour yo tout.
Alors un monde qui a fait taxe c'est comme si on dit toujours dit bon monsieur comment dire un monde qui a fait taxe ou disons solo c'est comme si ou pas pourquoi et même Jean Doudou et si on observe bon Dieu faut toujours une assemblée ou aller dans l'assemblée là nous réunir ensemble il gain plus force. Vous comprenez ça me veut dire mais ou à l'église tout maman pas capable dire ça faut venir prier l'autre assemblée c'est même gens tout business tax ça tout là pourquoi on fait go équipe bagarre ou pas connaît go équipe piège va prendre yo pour bon rester même pas protéger mais le par exemple dans assemblée ou un groupe moun qui fonctionne avant ça vient permettre ou épargner coup yo puis bien l'aime dit quoi ou épargner frappe yo puis bien ça vient permettre qu'on ça pour faire me conseiller tout le monde ou je dis ou pas besoin je dis ou pourquoi relem 954 670 66 94 ou à online chercher PROTAXLINK relé Patrick n'importe Jean vin là c'est là où y le ça gon équipe problème ou ka éviter de pour solo baptisant ou dans l'enfer.
MVP bay mon numéro encore
954 670 66 94 ça c'est numéro tout le monde connaît
MVP, good to see you. Merci un peu. Et nous t'es content de sur plateau. And also, you know, not only Patrick right now, we also have Tina with us. Careful. So, most of you guys probably know Patrick already, but first, let's go to Tina. Let me have Tina present herself. Tina, how are you and welcome?
Hi, I'm Tina Gilmore. I'm an enrolled agent, a national trainer. I've been doing taxes for about 32 years. And how's everybody today?
We all doing well. I mean, 32 years, that's a lot. Patrick, welcome back again. This year we're again in Broward County. So how's it going?
Great. So this year we came back. This year we have a couple different new people where we were talking about different things. Where Tina was giving them a lot of jewels. She was giving them more than I thought she was going to give on how to like make more money inside your tax season. So Tina, explain to us what is the difference that you got out of this audience and what they didn't know, and the feedback that you was educating them on a lot of things that's coming for this upcoming tax season.
Oh, this particular training, a lot of people weren't familiar with a lot of the new forms. They weren't familiar on how to use the forms. They didn't know the income caps. They didn't know the thresholds of the income and the percentages of certain forms to actually take the credits. So this particular class was interested in the solar credits. They were interested in the electric car, the EV credits. They were just interested in a lot of credits that just came out maybe last year. We talked about, with Trump in office, how there are going to be more credits for the higher income people. We're not just going to have credits for, low income like the EIC. So now the people that make more money, they'll have credits just set aside just for the higher income people.
So how is that possible when he just got into office? Didn't they already did the thing, or is that coming for this year or this coming tax? Wow, that's good.
In office, it'll be for the 2025 tax year.
Okay, and we're getting a lot of feedback that Trump is really trying to stop this tax thing. Is that irrelevant or is that true?
Well, we don't know at this time. Presidents say a lot of things, but, they have to have Congress to back it. We just have to wait and see what happens. All I can think is they probably eliminate a lot of credits, but the whole tax thing, they're not going to do it with it. They're just probably going to make it where the credits are so least that it'll make people like Sean from actually trying to do their own taxes.
My question to you, and obviously this morning you had a class on all the forms, different forms that we'll be using. Obviously, some of them are forms that people have been using, but might have not known, hey, there is actually an income requirement or something. So now, are you more of is that more of what you do, but because you have a lot of experience, you've been doing this for over 20 years, so that's actually very good. So are you more of a teacher right now, would you say? Or
I've been teaching for like 20 years, so teaching is what I do outside of the tax season. Once the season's over for taxes, I teach throughout the season until tax season picks up. So the whole off season, I'm taking classes, I'm learning new things. I'm at all the IRS conferences, I'm doing all the online, classes, just to make sure that I'm, on point with the new forms and new credits that come out every year. So yeah, that's what I do.
And throughout of your career, obviously, the question would be, have you encountered a lot of people that are using the forms but not knowing the requirement of using them?
Good question. What I found out through my experience, the average tax preparer is a data entry clerk. No tax preparers really know the rules, the laws, the regulations. They really don't know. Someone just set them down and said, this goes here, that goes there, hit enter, the system does the math. Nobody knows why they're doing and what they're doing. That's why it's so many, you got preparers that leave money on the table. I had a class the other day that a client had adopted a kid like 4 years ago, 4 years ago. And her preparer didn't know how to use the adoption credit. The adoption credit is worth over $14,000. So if a person adopts someone, they get a $14,470 something credit on their tax return. But because the preparer did not know how to apply the adoption credit, that person didn't get the adoption credit. So when she came to me, guess what? The 4-year window had passed. She couldn't get the credit anymore. So just by that preparer not knowing how to use that form, the client lost $14,000. So that's why it's important to know the forms and how to apply them and how to actually data entry the information, because everybody can see it, but they don't know how to use the form. Like, for instance, I talked about the 1099-C. The 1099-C is the cancellation of debt, but if you don't add the 982, the debt is not canceled. So people just do the 1099-C but don't follow up with the 982, so they just added income to their taxes. without knowing that 982 is added. Well, it's needed. So a lot of times, if you're not educated, you don't know how to actually process the return correctly.
See, this is why event like that are actually very important, Patrick. So why don't you tell us? So why are you bringing so many professionals? Like this year, you have a lot more professionals than we had last year. So every year you keep raising the bar. So why were you thinking about bringing so many professionals on the platform today?
One of the things that we realize is that not only that we bring more people that know more about it. When I talked to Tina, I've been doing taxes for a long time, and she gave me some jewels. I'm like, damn, I wish I knew this like 4 or 5 years. So a lot of us, we do taxes, but we haven't got the education. Things change, right? So one of the things is that when I talked to Tina, she was telling me certain things. I'm like, damn, if I knew that, I would have did that with my client. So a lot of us, like today, we had like almost 100-something people, but a lot of people didn't show. They're not willing to know the education, but they're ready to do the taxes. They want their money and everything else, but they're not really helping the client. Like she said, they're really data entry. They're not really getting the client the maximum money what they're supposed to. So when I sat with Tina, I'm like, yo, I got to get you on the team because her knowledge, and like she said, she has 30 years of experience doing this, and she's very, very busy. She doesn't even return my calls, but that's another story, another day and everything else. But to get her here and to just come over here to give them jewels, it's a blessing because of the fact is she's showing like every client is different. Not every client is the same. So everybody that gets a client, how we taught them before in the past or whatever, they're just teaching them the same ways and stuff like that. And then what she's talking about and what Chrissy's talking about, every client is different. It's a different format for every client. So every client, you can't use, everybody over here use formulas. Every client that comes in, they do this, and that, That's data entry. So you can get that client if you ask the right questions, more money. And that's what Tina does. So explain to me, Tina, what is the difference between you teaching and other people that's teaching where we don't get, like we saw how you elected that crowd when you came in there. What makes you different between the other people and you coming in and the way you speak?
Basically, with tax knowledge, it's already, I want to say, like over a person's head. So I kind of take it down a notch where we all can understand it, more like a friendly conversation than like a teaching environment. So I think the way I teach it is, I think that's why people can actually grasp it versus if you're actually in a classroom setting and it's like verbatim the way the IRS teaches it, most people walk out and still don't know what you just said. So the way I teach it like basically on a conversational level, on like a, almost like a more intimate, conversation. And I think that's why the clients actually, or the preparers actually pick up on it.
So you don't make it complicated when you're listening to them. You don't get us to that level where you're talking Chinese and you just lost us. Because I noticed when you was in the room, like you and Christy, these people were more engaged than what they were before in the past or whatever. They were more like, whoa, she's telling me something that I want to know. And everybody, I seen how you had a group of people back there. Mm-hmm. So what inspired them to come to you and have the whole people get up and say, hey, I want to sign up for your class?
Because I'm talking to you like you're my brother. I'm talking to you like you're my sister. You can feel that I actually want you to learn. I'm giving you the information so clear that there's no way you leave out of a room with me and don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people go to trainings and they'll leave and don't even know, well, what did we just learn? Yeah. Like when you talk to me, when you leave out of my present, I'm taking you up 2 notches. I'm guaranteed that you're going to go up a couple of notches when you leave from me because I'm going to have it so clear that you understand word for word what I'm saying. And you're going to leave out my class confident that you actually learned something.
And then, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I retired doing taxes, and I told Tina I was going to sit in her class this year because just the fact is, just the knowledge that she was giving me, it helps my clients and just the education part on just 2. I think when we sat in your office, you showed me like 4 or 5 things. I'm like, wow, I need to use that. I'm even working for Tina this year, too, so that's another story.
So my question to Tina would be, obviously, every year, there's going to be new forms coming out, possibly some we had last year or no longer here. And you probably would still find people that are using forms that are not even, maybe they're not allowed to use anymore. So now with these forms, would you say that every person that are doing taxes or every tax preparer should actually take a class with you every year to learn the new forms that are coming out.
That's something that I always tell people, and I use an example, and it's like crazy, but that's just like a barber. You know, you guys are guys, you know, when you got your hair cut back in the day, they just cut you up, maybe put a little alcohol around the front, and you were done. Now they put some spray, they outline it with chalk. They do all this exclusive stuff that they didn't do. So if the new barbers don't go, well, the old barbers don't go back to school and learn this black spray and this outline, and guess what? Nobody's going to want to come to them. So you got to always stay, you know, with what's current. So every year, I don't care if you've been doing tax for 50 years, if you don't know what they brought out last year, how do you do it? If you don't know what they're bringing out this year, it's no point if you got 60 years of tax experience. If you're not learning what's new, you're going to always be left behind, or you're going to always leave money on the table. And yeah, tax preparers want, you know, we're a little pricey, but I'm pricey because I'm confident in what I do. I'm pricey because I know I'm not leaving nothing on the table. So I just want people to, that same energy that they use when they charge those fees, give that client that same energy. So education is always important, because you don't want to be the one that make somebody leave $2,000 on the table just because you weren't educated to, you know a certain credit or apply the certain credit correctly.
Now, I know we're getting close to the tax season, or do you have any classes coming up? If you do, how do people sign up to take classes with you this year?
I do have classes available. I do group classes. I do one-on-one classes. It's basically, you just have to catch my, you know, when I'm available. I will give you guys something to maybe put up for us. You could email me at thetaxprosforyou@gmail.com. That's the tax, TAX, pros, PROS, the number 4, the letter U @gmail.com. Or you can call me at 561-206-7191. I do have a link, but I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Well, listen, I do want to thank you, and I have to say to whoever was not here this morning, you did have a very, very interesting class, and I do advise everyone that are doing taxes this year to make sure they sit with you in one of your classes to learn the new forms and you know how to properly fill out a form. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you guys for having me.
I do want to talk to Patrick, obviously, a little bit about, you know, PROTAXLINK, because and again, you did have a very wonderful event this morning. It's a lot, but I do want to talk to you about that marketing aspect of it, because you do teach a lot of the professionals here this morning about marketing, how to market their business, how to do it. You've been doing this event for a long time. Now, are you satisfied with how it's going? How do you see the progress?
I see the progress really going big, great. This upcoming tax season, PROTAXLINK has reshifted the way they do business, and just like I was telling everybody, we have to evolve, right? So we've been very quiet this year, right? So this event wasn't really going to happen this year because we've been in the lab, and we have a lot of new platforms to help offices grow in a whole different platform. Like we said, we have a new education team and everything else, where we have Tina that's coming on, we got Chrissy, and we got 2 other more people that's coming in to actually show you guys how to market and everything else. I even got another marketing. I can market, but there's other marketing people that knows how to market way better than me with social media and everything else. I'm more of a guerrilla marketing person. I can show you the nitty-gritty and stuff like that. But we hired we got a new person that's not here yet, but we have a person that's going to be a specialist on marketing online and everything else, where the Tax Pro 360 that we have, that we've been over for a year right now, we've been adding more things to it, and it's about to be phenomenal this upcoming tax season for all these offices.
That's good. And also there was another aspect that you touched on this morning. I also want to talk about it. Obviously, all the professionals here are mostly business people here, and you are very big in helping businesses grow. Like, how do you help these businesses to reach the next level?
Basically, is capital, right? So one of the things that in our community, sometimes we open a business, but we don't know how much does it take when we just get an office and then not understanding you're just paying a bill, but you're not marketing online. You're not doing things that you need to do, bring more customers. As you look at my social media, I don't market online, but I have a revenue of things of that, of customers. But on the side of the venue side, I do like a lot of marketing and everything else because my marketing is a different monster in that ordeal. And in our moms and pops, we're not realizing how to market in our community and everything else, how to bring the traffic, how to keep the doors open and everything else. So what we're doing right now is showing everybody how to market in another genre of, okay, business funding and all this other stuff. With the business funding, it's a whole different atmosphere of, hey, you're doing $250,000 in your office, but are you getting funded? Do you know how to get funded? Are you doing all these next steps to actually get this money inside after tax season? So these are things that we're going to do. And then we also have affiliated where we're going to do credit repair in people's office where they should get money out of these clients that they have come into their office.
Patrick, with the business funding now, you know, help all these businesses, you know, to be able to get in the position where they can get funded. Okay. And also, do you teach these businesses, all these people that are part of your platform, PROTAXLINK, are you teaching them how to actually help other businesses as well to get funded?
So in the beginning, we want to get you started first. So we want to show you how we can get you funded inside your office, right? So the main thing and the first thing is getting your personal situated first. So the first thing is, if your personal is not there, you can't get the business, right? So, but you can still get it at the same time because it depends on how long you've been in business and everything else. Some people that just started, but you have the capital because you have money in the back end. So the bank already automatically knows, hey, you have this money coming in. But the best time to actually go get funded is when you have tax season, when the money's coming. That's when you start applying for these cards.
Now, to be clear, do you only work with the businesses that are on the tax side, or it's any business you have, you should be able to get funded and you can actually work with that business to help them get funded?
Any business. So right now, we're working with our niche and stuff like that, but we have outside people where we get in garages, salons, just different people that's doing different things like restaurants, different people that we get them equipment loans, all different type of things, what you need in your office and stuff like that. It doesn't only have to be just taxes and everything else, but that's our genre of the people that we're working with right now. But we do help all different type of businesses on funding side.
Actually, with PROTAXLINK, we talk about that every year. You know, with the professionals that have offices all over the wherever they are in the country, you actually help these businesses grow and, you know, maximize the income. You know, every year you have a bunch of businesses coming on board with PROTAXLINK. Last year you had a lot of stuff that you offered these businesses. Anything new that you added to the platform this year that, you know, any business out there that is not part of PROTAXLINK should, you know, come on board with you to take advantage of?
Taxpro 360 is coming out with a bang this year and stuff like that. So we've been, that's going to launch in December, like December 10th, December 15th or whatever, but it's probably by December 1st, but I'm pushing for the 15th. Business funding. Automatically this year, we have a group of different people where we want to get y'all funded. We want you to start making money inside your office besides the taxes. Start giving your people credit repair and all that other stuff. And an atmosphere is, we got one lady, she was making about, like $3.2 million or $4 million, but they had business credit. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have no funding. We end up getting her a house, everything through what we do as fixing her credit. Then she was approved to get a house and everything else. So just because you're making that money, credit is better than money. And a lot of people don't know that. So one of the biggest things this year that we're really trying to focus on is basically getting them educated, understanding the system, understanding how you can make more money in your office. That's number one. Number two, getting them funded, understand what is a funding game, understand what a credit game is, and then understand how to leverage your client, because like Tina said, Trump is coming and the industry is about to change. So do you want to be obsolete or you still want to be in this industry?
Patrick, before we let you go, today we're in Broward County. We're doing this event here in Casa de Amor. Any other event you're doing prior to the tax season?
I'm glad you asked that. Coming January, Casa de Amor, we've been very quiet in Casa de Amor and everything else because we've been building. We have one of the biggest, can I say it? All right. So one of the biggest things that Casa de Amor is about to do, we did a venture where it's gonna be Casa de Amor, and we're opening a fine dine restaurant inside Casa de Amor where we've went all out, where it's gonna be one of the biggest restaurants in Broward County, where by far it's phenomenal of how much we put into it, the energy and everything else, with having a venue with a restaurant and having people come in where they could eat, have a party, or go different type of things, where it's going to be a phenomenal thing. So coming soon, I think in 2 weeks, we're going to launch it in WEWE. We're going to start talking about it. Production is already there. We're almost done with it. It's been a killer, but we're here.
Patrick, I mean, I can say, for those of us that have not been here recently, you did a lot of work here. So it is beautiful. So I do advise anybody, once you open, the restaurant here, for anybody to come out and check it and see what it's all about. But this year, back to the taxes. Other businesses out there, do they still have time to sign up for PROTAXLINK right now? And how do they make that happen?
So if you're looking to get a software or knowing about the business and taxes and everything else, we can still help you. You can contact me at 954-816-9381, PROTAXLINK. You could go on the website, log in, and let us know how can we help you guys. And we're here to go to the next level with you guys and get your office, maximize money, and help your office grow. So anybody that's with a service bureau or not with a service bureau, we can help you grow your business to the next level. We're going to go ahead and have Chrissy come up.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do that. And that was about PROTAXLINK, you guys. We this is a platform that I've worked with, so I know all the different benefits that PROTAXLINKs bring to the table for these businesses out there that are trying to maximize their potential, maximize their income.
Little seeds for big girls.
Okay, so let's do
on a large scale, because we're ending the year already. There is only 2 basic classes with annual season filing prepared left, and there's only 1 corporate course left before the end of the year.
So now, how do people register for classes with you, and do you have anything coming up right now on the schedule?
So we actually have a class starting Monday. Monday is going to be from 5 to 9, Monday through Friday. You do have to attend all classes to get the certification, because I have to vouch that you were there and put my name on it. So we got to make sure you're getting the information that you need to actually do the position, as well as a corporate class the first week of December, and the 3rd week of December will be another annual season filing prepare and basic tax preparation course. To get in any of the classes, totaltaxconnect.com, or you can email me directly at totaltaxconnect@gmail.com. That's TOTALTAX connect CONNECT @gmail.com. Also, you can reach me directly at 229-507-3362.
And last question I was going to ask you, do you normally teach throughout the whole year, or is there a period of time where you actually do not teach? Because I know you are very busy.
Yeah, so I actually don't. I do the teaching, and I start it in August, and I go August through December. By December, we're already full gear, getting our offices running and making sure that all of the preparers underneath me are already ready to go.
All right, very good. So, I do advise for anyone who's preparing taxes out there, any professional, to make sure they take your classes, because you actually do teach a whole lot of things, and new things are coming out every year. You actually have to know. Are you going to touch on the new forms that are coming this year as well?
So yes, I will touch on the new forms, but the most important thing is to make sure that you're in compliance with WISP. If you have a P10, you've already agreed that you are in compliance, so you want to make sure that you're meeting the requirements that you've told them. Also, you got to remember that they can walk in the offices now. This is not COVID season, and audits can happen at any time. So make sure that you know what to put in your folder, you're audit ready, and you don't have to worry about anything but smooth sailing and making money.
Okay, I know you do have a class starting on Monday, even though it's short notice, so I do advise people to go ahead on your website, go ahead and register and take that class. But after Monday, is there another one coming up, just in case someone cannot make it to Monday?
Yeah, so there's another corporate one the first week of December, and then there's another basic with annual season filing, and that'll be the 3rd week in December.
All right, very good. Christina, thank you so much. And I think, that you have a lot of knowledge you can share with these people. So obviously, I do advise them to take the classes. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you on the platform. All right. Guys, again, that was PROTAXLINK today, PROTAX 360, Patrick event that happens every year. Patrick normally there's this thing all over the country. As you can remember, last year we were in Orlando. Patrick was in Texas, Georgia, everywhere. So this year again, we were here in Broward County. So nous encourager tout le monde qui soit un tax office qui a préparé tax pour faire sûr que vous faites partie des plateformes non puisque il y a un pile bagay qui plateforme ça apporter pour vous. You know, PROTAX 360. Et si vous êtes quelqu'un qui a struggle avec marketing, Patrick is actually very big in marketing. So he teaches a lot about marketing. So I do advise you to take advantage of his platform, be part of it. PROTAXLINK, Tax Pro 360. So si vous pouvez faire partie de la plateforme, vous pouvez toujours contacter Patrick ou bien sûr contacter nous-mêmes, mettez-vous en contact avec Patrick pour capable faire partie des plateaux. And again, thank you so much. It was a wonderful event today. En pile monde apprendre, en pile classe fête matin là, parce que en pile monde apprendre en pile bagay que pas connaît déjà, surtout avec Christina et ensuite avec Tina qui t'a fait une classe sous forms. New form qui sorti année si vous préparer tax, en pile form a sorti, faut qu'on connaisse qui ça arrive, faut qu'on connaisse comment pour préparer tout. Encore une fois, merci tout le monde, c'était un plaisir pour nous ensemble avec vous et nous a croisé encore dans un autre event avec PROTAXLINK Tax Pro 360. Thank you.